What is up, beer drinking world? Rajay back in the house. Toss one back Thursday. You know how we do on Thursday nights. And yes, you see, there's no Todd. Todd is not here tonight. So I had to go out and get an all-star crew of people to actually pop in here. So I know y'all didn't want to hear me just ramble by myself, although I can be funny. I'm not going to lie. I can be funny. So we're going to get in here, drink some beers, and I'm going to bring in some other people and have some great beer conversation, and hopefully some people you can check out their stuff too. And we're going to have a good time. So that being said, let me go ahead. And first, we're going to get Paul in the house from PA Brew News. Welcome, Paul. Great to have you, homie.
Good. The content of the stream automatically just got worse, and 5 people unsubbed.
I say, don't get it all nervous on me now.
Yeah.
And then we got Mal from A Perfectly Me Crash. Mal and Chew, which, as we know, Chew is camera shy. He's lingering somewhere around back there. We don't know where he's at, but I'm sure he's close by. In case we hear a laugh. Mal, how are you this evening?
Doing good. How about you?
Good, thanks. And we got John Pierre with the Beverage Ramble in the house. What is going on, homie? Cheers.
Good evening, Rajay. Finally meeting Mal. Good evening. How are you, Paul? Good evening. What's up?
Hi, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah, so y'all know John Pierre. Make sure to check out his stuff as well. And you were actually in Georgia now, up from where you were in Alabama. So now he's not far from Brian the Beer Snob and some of the other ones down there. And Blues down there, right? Mal, he's in Georgia too, I believe. So yeah, you got some good beer people down in that state. I don't know who's going to be the next senator with some of the crazy stuff y'all got going on, but outside of that,
Indeed.
I think Herschel might still be concussed, but we'll leave that alone now.
Yes, let's leave that alone. Yes.
We're talking at sports. We're talking at sports ball, Paul. Just so you know, so we're talking to sports ball, as Paul calls it.
I'm not hearing shit.
So welcome in. Go ahead. Was Gilbert in here already? Gilbert's in the house. Did you say Gilbert, or did you say something else? Paul
said still third.
Oh, still third. Erie in the house. Cheers, Erie. Blake in the house. Cheers, Blake. Paul Todd says, "Damn, replace me with Paul." Oh, damn, I should be there.
Yeah, I know. That's really rough, man. That's a rough thing to do.
This is what happens when you're not here, Todd. Just saying. This is what happens. So, Erie Todd, cheers. And yes, the All-Stars are out. So, I guess we'll start off with, what is everyone drinking right now?
All right. I guess, Paul, you go ahead.
I got the Foliage Hazy IPA from New Trail Brewing Company, Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It is okay. It's got oats and Pennsylvania honey in it, and it's Amarillo, Simcoe, and Motueka. Unfortunately, when they do it with just oats, it's really kind of just blanket of oat haze. It doesn't really give a lot to it, so it's kind of boring, and it's kind of, there's a little citrus notes and a little stone fruit, but nothing too crazy.
Is it a little thin?
They're one of those brewing companies that forgets there's other styles out there besides hazy IPAs.
You're not going to say it's a little thin? Can you hear me, Paul?
No. Yeah, again, it's amazingly thin.
Oh, okay.
I won't say it's a bit thin.
I think Paul's in a delay or something there.
What's the ABV? And Paul, what's the ABV again on that?
ABV 7.1. 7.1. So, I mean, if it was 17.1, it'd probably be better, but it's all right.
Would you consider more? I've had a view of the IPAs that are within that range. I still consider them more sessionable within that 6-7%.
Yeah.
Till you get to the 8 and 9, then I'll say yes, it's imperial or whatever. But the 6
once 7, unless it hits 8.5, I really don't consider it double or imperial. Just kind of like there you go, but that's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
And before we go to the next person, another all-star that he just got up, Dave Z in the house from Beer Front.
Hey, Dave Z, how you doing? Pleasure to meet you.
Out of Chicago Playland. What is happening, homie? Great to have you.
Nothing. Good evening, everyone. How's everything going tonight?
Good.
Good.
And for those of you that don't know Dave from Beer in Front. He is the man about in Chicago. So he's always on the scene and breaking out a lot of the beer news up there. And then we'll slide over to Mal. So Mal, what are you drinking tonight?
From Ravinia Brewing Company. This is Naughty List number 957 Cake Throwing. It is a Black Forest Imperial Cake Stout. It's a holiday series, limited release they had, I think from last Christmas actually, but it's done well in the can since then. I'm kind of loving it. So, and very odd artwork on this one. But yeah, but it tastes like Black Forest cake, and it's an 8.1. So I'm kind of enjoying the holiday mood. Get a little nutmeg in there, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And then that would be considered an imperial, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, for some Imperial, me, still session.
Yeah, I mean, anything under 15 is pretty much session. So
Well, I'm only on number 4, so yeah, I guess it is sessionable.
As I knock out like Evil Twin Molotov cocktails. You guys have anything heavier? It's like a Bud Light over here. What you got there for me, JP?
Yes, tonight I'm drinking Stella Artois. Nothing's really special about this. So typical, Pilsner from InBev. The deadly, the AB InBev. People who dislike the brewery, but hey, that's what I'm sipping on tonight. And just had a nice little sandwich, and just kicking back and just enjoying this great conversation with all these folks here. So
there you go.
Nice. Nothing wrong with a little pills. You said it's a little warm.
I'll make sure I
right
change
now.
that.
what was that?
So I'll make sure I change that. You enjoying it? That's no, we can't do that.
I'm enjoying stuff.
Come on.
Hey, I know. I gotta be on my best behavior. Got to get up in the morning. So So
Me too.
yeah.
And last but surely not. Well, actually next to last, but I'll be last. But Dave Z, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking one from Virginia. This is a regular porter from 1700 Brewery. This is called their OO Dark 30, 6.4% porter. Pretty good. Decent beer. First time I've had this one. It's good beer. I like it.
Nice. Might see the old face later on.
It'll be for the Patreon members. Yeah.
Yeah. Still not
That's
to the OnlyFans.
yeah.
Still not to the OnlyFans.
That's OnlyFans stuff right there. There you go.
And for moi, for those of you that saw last weekend, I actually popped by the other half spot here in DC. Only had a few minutes in there, but I am actually drinking the Citra Galaxy Double IPA that I picked up from them. And other half, let's face it, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with them. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe if you guys have had anything bad from them, I don't know. I've never seen anybody say, you know what? Another half beer just wasn't hitting today.
Yeah, that was when I had them. They came from I guess the Washington D.C. plant just opened when I had all the other half stuff, and I had it, and it was like, this is good, but it's nothing amazing. And that's when Joe said, I can tell by the tab and the color of this and this and this, and the way the moonlight shone on it that it was from the Washington D.C. plant instead. And I'm like, whatever, man. I'll believe you.
That's what happens when you sleep in the back room of the other half. I mean, that's what you pick up, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Well, this one is nice. It's got the Citra and Galaxy hops, which are two of my favorite hops to enjoy. As I mentioned on one of the videos out of Cincinnati when I was there, Mad Tree Brewing had a Citra High and a Galaxy High, which were two of my favorite beers to enjoy. And other half puts both into one. So very nice. 8.5% ABV on this one. Pretty smooth, pretty creamy. I don't know if they use flaked oats or if they use lactose, but it definitely works for them. So nice overall looking beer here.
All right. So
Part of the haze craze, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah.
So in talking to beers, we just got out of Oktoberfest or the back end of Oktoberfest. What are you guys thinking? Any great Oktoberfest beers you guys are having out there? Anything you're enjoying? Anything you're really putting away that you really, really liked? Or maybe some you didn't like as much that you came across?
Well, I'll go ahead and say something. Since I've been up here, I've been very fortunate to find a lot of local stuff here in the Atlanta area, from Reformation, from Brewery, Gate City Brewery, Social Fox, Slow Pour, and I've been to one Oktoberfest by Tucker Brewing, up here in Tucker, Georgia. So, overall, most of the Marzens I've had this year have been okay. I mean, I like the style. I'm not a fan of it, but I do like the style. And so for the ones that I have bought, I thought they would say, "Yeah, I may buy this again." I would say the one from Red Hair. Red Hair has a Red Hair Brewing Company here. Is based in Marietta. They have an Oktoberfest. I didn't get a chance to review. I just bought the can, just to sip on one evening. This is, back with sometime around September, middle of September, and I really enjoyed it. And I went ahead and bought another can, and I said, well, I need to review that beer, so at some point I will. So, yeah, I'm so far. Obviously, the weather's cooperated, but yeah, I'm another year of drinking all these different Oktoberfests. Some are good, some like, that's kind of the feeling about it. I mean, they're good, but I want to get another one,
Nothing that moved the needle for you at all, really. So, you just kept it moving. What about you,
I still
Mal?
prefer the Marzen to the fest beers, though. The Marzens are still where it's in.
So, for people that watch that, the difference between the Merson and the fest beer is the fest beer is supposed to be a lower octane version of it, right? So, you're taking off a little bit of the grain, you're taking a little bit of the bite, you're trying to make it not as sweet as what you would with the Merson. So that's where you have the fest beer that comes into play. I like personally, I like the feel of the Merson. I like that sweetness, like the caramel. That's become a lager style I've actually enjoyed more and more as I've gotten into beer. I was always more of an ale person, and I think all you guys kind of know that, but of the lager styles, and Dave will know, like the Rock beer, the Mersons, the Keller beers. I think me and Paul talked about that before.
She wanted to say hi.
Chew wanted to put his hand in. He's Mr. Handy now.
He wanted to say hi.
Is Mr. Bill going to? Is Mr. Bill going to show up now because we have Mr. Hand there? I'll help you, Mr. Bill. Yeah.
Oh
no!
But as far as lager styles go, I've actually picked up more of a nice feel with the Merson. Now, some of the ones I've had, I only had like a couple. I've had two I've done reviews on that I released this week, but I've had another one from a local spot here from Guilford Hall that was pretty decent. And some of the other ones I've had, they don't really change. Like St. Mary's Oktoberfest doesn't really change that much for me over the years. But I had one from Iron Hill, which is up in PA where Paul's at. And then the one that I had that was from up in Vermont, from Zero Gravity, that was actually a pretty decent one. If you didn't see the review, I really enjoyed that one. That's kind of the one that stuck out for me this year thus far. But
one thing I will say about Marzens, they'll still be available come Thanksgiving. They'll still obviously the dates and whatnot. And I've bought over the years. I've always had it with even just past last year. I went home with back to Jersey to spend some time with my family for Thanksgiving. I was the only guy who was drinking all the Marzens because I was say, hey guys, you want to? I was willing to offer everybody, Oktoberfest, and would say, what's that? But but I paired it with it goes well with every Thanksgiving dish that was being served, and every year, even this past year, I took it with me and enjoying it, eating all the dishes that my mom was making and everything. So, I do enjoy them, especially that time of year in November,
Nice.
So for me, I hit up a bunch of the different Chicago area ones just kind of in a row. And I'm noticing a trend with this dry hop finish on a whole bunch of them. And I do tend to kind of like mine a little on the sweeter side, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting more of a hop kick on the end of the fest beers this year. So
they're
I
all
don't
American.
know if, yeah, I don't know if they're just like up in the hops because they think they have to on everything now or what. But I got a lot of hop this year, and I kind of miss the straight Martzens. Like the.
I'd agree with you on that. I think they have to.
Oh yeah.
So we forecasted next year there'll be a Merson IPA. That'll be out there in the market.
Well, actually, the funny thing is, I just had here Southern Tier's harvest. Southern Tier's harvest
A
is
Marson
an
sour
ESB.
sounds terrible.
Yeah, so.
What'd you say,
No.
Paul?
Did you
What'd
have
say?
the harvest ESB? It's technically an ESB, but they call it an IPA from some Southern Tier. It's good.
No.
I
Yeah.
really enjoy it, but it's an ESB that is all like fresh hopped chaos. So it's an
Oh
IPA.
my.
I've always
So they're
thought of that as
hopping up
being,
everything.
yeah, that was supposed to be the ESB, everything I've known about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, it was absolutely fantastic because it smelled like you just opened up a pack of bittering hops, like that
Mhm.
nice earthy aroma, and that beautiful malt base from the ESB. So that I wouldn't really complain about right there. But like, yeah, they are literally hopping everything too much.
Agreed.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? What you got, homie?
I haven't had a lot. I had one from Metropolitan, their Afterburner, that I liked. And Mallory, you might know that, like this weekend, Dovetail, who makes the great Rauch beer, they're having their Oktoberfest party, Dovetail and Beguile. So that'll be this weekend. That's always a good one. Their fest beer is great. And they always have, the brats that are made with it. So that should be a good time this weekend in Chicago.
I desperately wanted to go. I'm suffering from a bit of a back injury right now.
Oh.
So I haven't been out of the house in about a week and a half. Gosh, because Dovetail, their smoked beers are just to die for. I did their pack of smokes. What?
Oh, yeah.
With JT. I think JT is in the chat. JT Davis.
Mhm.
He took us over to Dovetail, and we had such a great time. We also went to 3 other breweries in the area, but their Rauch beer is to die for. Everything from them is so good. So, yeah, I wish I could go.
JT's a cool, laid back guy too. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
you
he
had fun.
is.
Yeah. Todd said thin at 400 degrees. That was the comment just towards Paul because Paul likes his beer.
That's
warm,
it.
so.
I like it. Yeah, it's too thin, but I always drink it at boiling temperatures. Yes, absolutely. It's a little cool out here. It's cooling my beer down. I'm surprised you can't see steam coming off of it.
Yeah, you are getting a little bit of a cool front coming through there in Eastern PA. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's been in the 40s, which I like it. I like it really cold. So I sit out here all night long, freezing. It's fun.
It's good sleeping weather.
Yeah, it's good nappy weather. Sometimes you don't wake up.
Yeah.
Speaking of JT, he's actually drinking a Waddle Off Colors
I
tuba beer.
love Waddle. That one's so good. And the can art's fantastic. I just love the whole thing.
Everything I've had from Off Color has been really decent. So,
Mhm.
Dave gets spoiled there too because he's in Chicago with JT. And when Big Daddy shows up, he's in Chicago. And it's like, oh, Chicago. They got all these great beers too. So,
There
yeah.
you go. You need to
it's a rough
make a
life.
trip out. You need to come west, Rod.
Yes,
I will.
you do.
I will. I've been there a few
Yeah.
times. I'll double back
Yeah.
at some point possibly, but I think my goal next year, and I'm putting this out there for other people that might be thinking it. I would love to get a crew to go down to Great American Beer Fest. So if people were interested, we could try to maybe get something set up where you get Airbnb or something like that, or hotels, whatever. And I think it'd be a blast to get down there.
That's
I haven't-
they
that's
do it
fun.
every year in Denver, right?
Yeah, it's going on this weekend for this year, but I'd like to go next year.
I'm surprised since that festival's been around for so long. I mean, they don't rotate it in other cities. I think it'd be a great idea if they did that.
Well, Denver just keeps control of it.
Rotate, one of these
Yeah.
big popular beer cities. Pennsylvania, here in Georgia.
Yeah, that would have actually have a beer tour would be pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all around America. Because that would be cool. It is a great. It's not the Great Denver Beer Fest. It's a Great American Beer Fest.
That's
Right.
true. That's
Thank
true.
Yeah, and they hosted it where the Nuggets and the Avalanche play. So I mean, you could have it in every big city. You could have it at like Madison Square Garden one year, United Center here. What's Phillips in Atlanta? I mean, you could just rotate it around the country to, big basketball, hockey arenas. There's enough places that could host it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
And also, spotlight the local stuff and the national, also all the local breweries in that state. So yeah.
There you go. We're hosting our own festival next year.
We're going to rival the Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah.
No, that'd be kind of cool to see it shopped around. I feel like Denver's just wants to keep that hold on it there now. But yeah, I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool. I think, see other parts of the country and do it like some of the other stuff. So, but so many
Ron,
great
I told
cities
you
have their
last
own beer
time.
festivals now. What's that?
I told you last time I have a case of 2007 25th year beer to celebrate the 25th Great American Beer Fest. I have a case of that made by Boulder Brewing Company, and it's drinkable, but it's different. I'll tell you what, 2007, I got the case for free, and I'm like, oh, I'll give it a go. And I'm like, it's not bad, but I'm like, ooh, what are you, you little weirdo?
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's not Pabst, so
yeah, it's not exactly, but at the same time, crapping through a screen door the next day, pretty much. But you know what I mean? If you drink enough of it, but it's still drinkable. It's not actually like skunky bad or anything like that. It's just like really weird lemon vinegar kind of things, but it's actually kind of enjoyable still. I was really scared when I opened it up and I realized it was American, because sometimes American beers do not age as lovely traditional European styles do. So I'm like, oh boy, but it was free.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Not age well at all. Hey, true story. True story. When I was living in Mobile, Alabama, I would go to the spot service station, and it was, I think, before I left, around 2020, I guess during the pandemic, So I went to the service station and I looked at something and said, hey, that's Goose Island. Wait a minute. Didn't Goose Island change their logo? And I looked to pick up the beer and I said, look, sir, this beer is about almost 2 years old. They changed the logo. And the guy kept telling me, yeah, buy. Good price. I said, never mind. Thank you. I mean, it was just, certain beers, like I said, even though Goose Island is brewed in, here in the state, still some of these American beers, you don't, certain ones you can't age. Maybe stouts, yes, porters, yes, but lagers, pilsners, Hellas Doppelbocks, whatnot, you don't age those. You got to consume them there and then and there. So,
we can't all be like Todd that buys an 11-year-old IPA.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't try to age those ones for sure.
He didn't really buy it on purpose, 11 years old, but he bought it straight off the shelf, and I remember how pissed he was.
That's as bad as Eric buying this Brooklyn beer 6 years old, not realizing it.
Yep. Oh, no, that was it, 6 years old, but it was a Brooklyn IPA that was not so good anymore.
The chunks floating, and it's like, did you look at the date on that or anything? Like, yeah, so. But again, Brooklyn doesn't know. Like a lot of breweries, when these stores keep their stuff out there, the guy still sold full price on it. Sold full price on a 6-year-old.
Thank you. And they don't rotate their stock.
They don't rotate it.
That's very frustrating,
That's why you got to know your beer stores. You got to know them. You got to see how they do stuff and make sure they're keeping up on it and everything. Now, if you would put it in like the buy one, for $1 type cart, well, that's on you. That you're taking that risk, But if you're going to put their full price,
I just bought a bunch of Copper Legends from Jack's Abbey for 50 cents a can, and they were all great still.
Yeah.
They were good. I was like, this is going to be great, so I'm no problem. I'll buy all of them.
One of the beers I'm going to crack open here in a bit is one I got from a local one, and it was $6.99 for a 4-pack of a pint. These are usually like $17. It's a 9% Imperial Espresso Brown Ale. I don't know who in the store didn't know you could hold on to these and still sell them and be okay. But if you're going to knock down the price $10, I'm going to help you out and get them off the shelves for you.
I will let you know it's going to be a bit thin. But other than that, you'll be great.
It's a brown ale. What do you want?
Well, I don't know.
Got Stuntman Steve in the chat as well. What is going on, Steve? Always love when we get the support from over across the pond. And Steve, if you're up and you want to join, let me know. We're going to have just various beer people on tonight. Love to get you on. We got Eric from Malt Muser Whiskey up in, guess where? Chicago. So if you're looking at whiskey stuff, you want to make sure to check him out. He's doing some great things there, of course, as always. Yes, he says 2 a.m. here in the UK, but you're a night owl. Like Craig's the same way from Kent Beer Reviews, like up late. Like, do you sleep? Like, you a vampire? That just likes to party? What's going on? So, Shu, almost saw your handlebar. Is what the handlebar almost got in. How many people have seen the handlebar? I mean, I've seen it. JT has seen it. Blue.
Let's see, UJT,
Brian.
Shane, Blue, Brian, TK. Do spouses count?
Well,
but I think that's about it.
well, Todd's seen it.
Oh yeah, Todd too. Yep, Todd and Shannon.
I mean, Chew's handlebar would make Raleigh fingers be like, "Damn, I got work to do."
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Eric's sipping on a trio of Hot Butcher releases tonight and enjoying the stream. Well, thank you, brother. I've not had a Hot Butcher at all this year. I do have a couple Hot Butchers in my fridge that Big Daddy sent to me, who I'm actually going to get his comment here in a second. But I haven't got anything from Hot Butcher at all since moving to Baltimore. I don't know if they can send to Baltimore or not, but they just, I guess I'm off that list somehow.
Joe killed Hot Butcher for me. I can't do it now.
Who did? Joe
What's
did?
up, YouTube? Wow, 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 wow. Here's some more Hot Butcher. Wow, 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 wow. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I think he's cheating.
Joe killed me. God damn it, I love you, but you killed it for me.
He's cheating on another half with Hot Butcher right now. So
Don't even let them know. That's that triangle shit. You don't want.
Yeah. The Beer Patrol
Don't
guy,
cross
you
the
know,
screen.
he's stepping out on you with Hot Butcher. I don't know if you guys know that or not, other half. So.
Careful, Rod. You'll get him in trouble.
Yeah. Big Daddy finally scored it. Nosferatu. He's been waiting to get that one. Nice small batch.
Great Lake.
Cheers. Yeah. And I'm going to crack open another Great Lakes beer here in a second too. Let me see. Whoops. Did I do something? Oh, I switched somehow.
That's all right. I prefer to be bottom anyway.
I didn't know I hit a button there.
We heard that about you. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna scare Dave down there now, Paul. Everybody's just trying to get over watching Dahmer. Like, yeah, you're his new neighbor.
I know a freezer full of meat, so we're good.
You know,
and a power drill.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been kind of leery because I knew about the story. I was in high school when that thing went down. You know, 1991. So you know, it was like, you know, knew the story. You know, don't want to kind of relive that again. You know, read about it, and of course, when it made national news, it still scratches my head how he able to keep all those bodies in the freezer. I mean, I'm like, wow. You know,
yeah,
it's a really big freezer.
Yeah,
it wasn't that many pieces. I mean, come on. No. So he was a souvenir taker, really. It was just a head, a foot, of this or that. It was a lot.
I mean, he literally was storing things away like a chipmunk in the winter, I guess, when he kind of did that. But I haven't watched it at all because, to me, my personal take, I feel like it's glamorizing him. And I read an article about
that's why I don't watch gangster
and how much
shows.
it hit her. And she was just like dealing with all the stuff that was out there. She won't even talk to anybody to watch because this is like, it gives her flashbacks on stuff. And it's kind of like, I just feel like they're making money off this serial killer. It's like, we've done so many things in the country nowadays where it's like, how do we get back to where we used to be? And it's just like, this is like one of those other things. It's just like, at a certain point, you don't have to make a movie about everything like that. You know, it's just, that's just how it hits me.
That's always the excuse. I never watched gangster stuff, any Sopranos or anything. It's all glorifying criminal stuff and weird stuff, and I was just never into it. Plus, I don't watch TV anyway because I'm the Unabomber.
There you go.
So I mean, like, you know, there you go.
Good thing the other guy took that fall for you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I skip all the zombie movies because I don't think they need to be glorified at all, you know.
No, exactly. Zombies are people too.
Zombies are COVID in 2030. Just saying.
Now, don't. If that comes true, you're going to be real sorry you said that.
As long as
the
2030,
yeah, the purge,
2030 we'll be waiting for Brad Pitt to find a cure like World War Z. Like, hopefully Brad can find it.
I always wondered if zombification could be transmitted sexually.
Yeah.
If not, would be all right. Just a question. Just a question. Shannon was going to tell me.
Like, people want to know, right? It's just a question that's floating around out there.
I keep on hitting mute because a car drives by. I had 2 cars already, which is like crazy. I don't like that.
You're like, like, who's driving out there right now? It's like
weirdos.
Yeah. I mean, it's October. You could be Texas Chainsaw Massacre for all they know.
Music,
I always wanted to make enough money so I could make the Pennsylvania Sawzall Massacre. I always thought that'd be a good film.
Well, there you go. Children know we're free. Did you say, Mal? Did you try that one?
Yeah. I've had the Phase 3 Oktoberfest. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was still a little dry on the finish, but I really liked that one. But I rarely have run into anything from Phase 3 that I haven't been very fond of. Honestly, they're doing some pretty incredible things. In fact, I think they just had a collaboration with Other Half, too.
Nice.
Yeah. She just said they had a crazy one with the barrel aged, and then he shut the door. I don't know what that means.
I'll say,
yeah.
he opened the door, and then he closed it. Like he's watching it, and he comes in, opens the door, and he closes the door and goes back out.
He's doing that
That's
creep stuff where he's looking through the keyhole, listening. What?
Actually,
What?
I can hear us on a delay down in the living room. So he's watching it on the television downstairs, and he runs upstairs and he says something in the door, and then he runs back downstairs to see.
Good cardio.
It's a good workout. I mean,
Hey, look,
Steps in and stairs. Yeah.
however you can do the Fitbit, it works. So yeah.
Unfortunately, when I was in Chicago, it was in 2010, so it's been completely different since I had the chance to be there.
big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that was open then was really Revolution just opened up in 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the places that everyone goes to now weren't even open yet.
Right.
Right.
Buy it at Benny's. I just know that.
Yeah.
Can I ask each of you a question? Mal, what's the beer scene like in where you are? And basically, that's the same question to all of you. What in the cities and that live in?
I feel like,
what is it like locally?
Are you seeing my notes? Because I had a question about beer scenes for your guys' area. I was going to bring up, but since you threw it out there, yeah, go ahead, Mal.
Well, most of my focus is on the breweries themselves. So I'm trying everything off the tap, not as much buying in the store. But I'm seeing a lot of cream ales. Midwest is nuts about cream ales. It's literally everywhere. Every brewery has at least one, and they're passing that off as their, yellow beer that they give to whoever doesn't know beer.
And that style's been around forever, cream ales.
Yeah, but it's really picked up in the Midwest. When we did our tour all over the Midwest, like cream ale was everywhere, literally everywhere. Everybody had a super hoppy one. Everybody had their West Coast, their East Coast, but they all had a cream ale as well. So I found that really interesting. Like they were trying to bridge the gap between the macro drinkers, I mean, I guess you have to find your crossover, right? Mine was Fat Tire, but like everybody has their thing. So what I've really noticed is trying to appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah, I would say with the cream ale, that's one that isn't going to be too aggressive for your macro drinker. That they can actually use as a gateway to try to get into it. So a little bit easier doing something like that with that type of style.
Yeah.
But even like Alarmist, they put out it's not a cream ale, but they did their Midwest corn lager, which was phenomenal. I think that won a GABF last year for if you're just a regular, Bud Miller Coors type person. If you had that, I think you'd be blown away with the complexity of that. You got a lot of good corn with that. I mean, that was a terrific craft version of a macro lager.
Well, probably they used a different corn grain and stuff like that would give it a lot more flavor too, because just like Kunin, they have those rice doubles, rice triples, but they use a specific kind of rice, and it's just nuts what it does to the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the Budweiser rice, is what you're saying.
No.
Well, we'll get to Dave towards the end because he's more Chicago, so he's going to have fantastic stuff. What about you, Paul? I mean, I know you're out there on Eastern PA. It's a little bit more rural where you're at, but you still got a little stuff out there. You still get to places.
Well, just from when I started drinking to now, because it's completely fucking weird. I'll just tell you, because when I first started drinking craft beer,
Paul, it's always fucking weird.
Yeah, I know. There's a bottle up my butt at some point in time. There was with me is when you first started drinking craft beer around here, there was no such thing as craft beer. You could only buy cases of beer. There was no 6-pack stores. There was no single shops. There was no bottle shops. There was nothing like that. The people who started drinking now and complain about craft beer, I want to headbutt in the face over and over again until they stop breathing. Because it's one of those ones where it's so funny because if you wanted to get a craft beer from a brewing company, you'd have to drive to Hershey. Like you'd have to drive to Trove. You'd have to drive 2.5, 3.5 hours in a direction. And even then, there was like 6 brewing companies in the whole of Pennsylvania you could choose from that was craft beer. And I don't really like the term craft beer because all craft beer is crafted. It was more like micro macro back in the day. It was micro macro. That was pretty much it.
Micro breweries.
And
right.
And now there is bottle shops. There's independent bottle shops, which is you go over to Pittsburgh area, stuff like that. Which if you ever do check it out, Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania, the beer port, Rod, is a fucking amazing place. But it is. I'll tell you what. It is. Now we have about 900 breweries in Pennsylvania now, and even since COVID hit, now 900 more just opened up. It's insane. However, with that has bred mediocrity,
Right.
because now there's so many, and 9 of them are subpar, and like I say, any of them are of subpar. One extra one is really good, and the other one's amazing. If you know what I mean, like, but that's so few and far between. But like just the world in general of craft beer in Pennsylvania, and I understand if you're from Philly and Pittsburgh, you sound like it sounds like I'm an idiot, and I am. But the other 3/4 of the state, let's just say that, or Commonwealth, is completely changed over the years, completely.
Yeah. And there's some great breweries that come out of PA in certain areas, but like you said, you also have more into the mix. And I think we've all been to some breweries, and it's kind of like, they're good, but they're not great. It's kind of like, you're doing something, but it's kind of like, okay, you just open the spot because you went from the garage.
Well, maybe it's the foundation of something good, because honestly, a lot of them taste like great home brews. And if you can keep it up, maybe you'll get somewhere good later. Because honestly, some of the craft brewing companies that we enjoy, now I'm not saying everybody, because I know there's a lot of people who have been around for a short time that did amazing things quick. But the ones that we really enjoy, to a certain extent, have been around since the early 90s. So they had time to rise and fall and fail and learn and get better. So maybe that this is the start of something different.
Yeah.
And I don't think the bubble, by the way, if you ask that question ever, I don't think the bubble's ever going to pop. It's just going to get really stale and stinky. Let's just say that, because it's going to get full of people.
Well, what you have is you have a retract, and you have to start to build back out again, right? So,
exactly.
Because every time you see a craft brewery close, another one seems to come in and buy it up. So you still have the opportunities out there for different things. So you definitely got that going on. But what about you, Dave? What do you got there? I mean, obviously you're sitting in one of the meccas of the country.
Well, I'm right there with, Mallory. It's, Chicago's just a great town for beer. And the one thing that I love about it is there's so many different styles. Like if we mentioned Dovetail earlier. So if you want to go to just an old school German brewery that makes traditional styles, you could go there, or a place like Metropolitan makes great things. You have your Hop Butcher that sooner or later is going to open up. I mean, the sign is out, they have the permits out, but that'll be walking distance from Dovetail. You have Beguile that's right there, and I'm only focusing on my hyper local area that I can walk to. Beguile has a little something for everybody. They do, IPAs. They want a GABF for their barrel aging program. I mean, you have Revolution that's a little farther out. There's so many great breweries. There's one opening up all the time. I mean, it's just a great town for beer. No matter what style you like, you're going to find something. And it's, no matter where you live at in the city proper, it's a close drive or Uber ride to get there.
Yeah.
The barrel aging in the city is phenomenal. Everyone's putting out some killer BA stuff if that's what you're into.
Yeah. And of course, you're a month away from the so-called Godfather breaking their stuff out, right? So that'll be some things that people will start to lose their mind a little bit over to try to get hold of.
It's less than a month away.
Yeah. Well, I'll say for me, I mean, because now I've been in Baltimore for about 7 or 8 months now. It's a little different than when coming from Cincinnati. So one of the things I talk about Cincinnati had a great beer scene, but it was a beer scene not many people, I think, really knew about. It was really underestimated. So where I was at, we had like 60 to 70 breweries within 20, 30-mile radius and stuff. So we were always able to get pretty decent beer. And they were all putting out solid beers for the most part. In fact, like Rheingeist, now they're out in Massachusetts, I know, and they're up in Michigan. They've kind of expanded in different spots where people are seeing them across the country. Mad-Tree that I mentioned was always pretty solid. When I had the guys come in, when it was like me, Joe, and Eric, and Tal, we all got together. I took them to a place called Streetside, which was like a little smaller craft brewery, but the beers were some of the best beers you can get. And it's just like here in Baltimore, I haven't come across that type of feeling yet. I will say one of the unique spots here that I have is a place called Guilford that I mentioned earlier. They actually are a European design brewery. And it's weird because they have no IPA. So how many breweries can you walk into? They don't have an IPA, right? You walk in there and you got the porter, you got the stout, and you have a British pale ale. And it's refreshing in that they're actually sharing other styles outside of IPA. They're like, we got tons of American breweries doing the other American stuff. We want to take it back to overseas and what they actually crafted. And so like I had the Oktoberfest I mentioned from them, which was really a nice tasting one. I've had some of their other stuff there. And that is something nice. I also now have Guinness here, which is really a unique experience. I went out there, caught up with all my buddies, and the experimental stuff they're doing is totally different because you can't get that in the stores. So it was nice there. They had a flight that was all just like their hoppy stuff. They had a flight that was some of their other stuff. And then you have some of the other things they have in the larger batches you can try right off the draft as well. If you ever get to Baltimore, definitely worth checking out that place. I will say they were a little bit more pricier than some of the breweries, but again, you're paying like for the Guinness name in that regard. Now in Chicago, you won't have to worry about it next year as much because they'll have the tap house that'll be out there. Hopefully open by St. Patty's Day is the goal. And they won't have as much as they have here in Baltimore, but it'll still be an entryway where I have a second location here in the States. So people are getting pumped up about that out there for what they're doing. And we had to talk to a couple of people when we were at Guinness about that upcoming. So they're pretty excited as well. But they have like Heavy Seas here, which is known around parts of the country that does decent beer. They have some other nice little lower type spots. But I think all in all that I've seen, I'm going to say probably within a radius of where I am versus Cincinnati, I think I may have 10 or 11 breweries, 12 maybe, versus having 60 plus. So it's a little bit different, a little bit of a shell shock. I haven't been to any beer festival yet. They do have one coming up in November where they're having a lot of other stuff coming from around the state. So I'm looking forward to maybe check that out. But it's a new experience. Now, when I go back home, like, JP said he's up in Jersey. My mom's up in Jersey. So I go up there. I got stuff I get it from there all the time, which is across the river from Paul, basically across Delaware. And I get a lot of good stuff there too. So that opens up more opportunity there for some of the beers. So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying now that I get a lot of stuff from the East Coast that's coming down. I had one of the guys I know at the store. I'm not going to be up there, but he was posted that he had the Heady Topper in. I could never get Heady Topper in Cincinnati. Yeah. Now I'm in a place where I can get Heady Topper, or I can get stuff like that. And if I got places here now, I can say, can you order Treehouse? And they'll look to order Treehouse and all that kind of stuff if they can get it. It all depends on their distribution type stuff. But that's kind of a nice little thing about the little stuff because they're kind of more building here. So you can kind of get in people's heads and say, hey, can you get this? Can you get that? So that'll be kind of nice going forward.
Is there a difference between Baltimore and like the Washington, D.C. beer scene? Is it like the same big community, or is there like two different type of beer communities?
From my understanding, they kind of have it all together. It's Baltimore, D.C., and Virginia. So everybody all together, it's kind of like that whole region. They kind of tie stuff together. One of the guys that used to do beer reviews, I don't know if he still does it or not. I haven't seen him in years. And Paul and JP, you would know Backwoods Billy. He was always talking about Del Mar area, which he would have been in this area, but they have all their stuff kind of tied in there. And then Delaware throw them in there as well. So it's kind of that type of thing. So I get a lot of the advertising for the Delaware beer festivals, the Virginia beer festivals, and you'll see a lot of the brewers cut across the states to do that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a neat little spot.
Well, for me, being here compared to where I was staying in Alabama, a big difference tenfold because, again, I'm originally from Jersey, but when I was living in Indiana and when I started doing my reviews in 2015, it was like very tough to find certain things. There were a lot of local stuff, from good people. We got Straight to Ale, Back 40. This is around the time where, you know, the laws were starting to change and kind of allowing, you know, a lot of more brewing in that state, and even raising the ABV level in that state as well. You know, so there was a lot of good local stuff I was able to get my hands on and stuff, you know, sort of the national brands, whatever. But I would say since I've been up here in Georgia, it has been just tenfold, 10 times. Big difference.
You're kidding the candy store now.
Yes, I'm definitely Scout Law. You got Gate City, as I mentioned, Social Fox, and yes, you know, Sweetwater and Terrapin. I'll put those off to the side because they're more national brands. So I won't look at them as local stuff, even since they're bought out by these, you know, these corporate guys. But Tucker Brewing Company, I mentioned Reformation, Red Hair. All these breweries are putting out such amazing things I would not have gotten down there, you know. Even though yes, things have changed down there in terms of laws allowing, okay, you know, doing this, a lot of breweries, and as far as the styles that are popular now, I mentioned the cream ales. It's more, I would say, they're more of a balance between pilsners, imperial pale ales, and sours that I'm seeing a lot being brewed here in the area. I guess they still do stouts. They'll do their what American lager they want to call them. You know, yeah, this is better than Budweiser, as they say. You know, whatever. But you know, all these different things, and but those, I would say, those are probably the three styles that I'm seeing here in the Atlanta area. Now, I haven't been down further down to Athens or Savannah. I'm sure, you know, I know there are plenty breweries up there. But from what I've seen in the Atlanta area, that's I would say probably the three styles that I'm seeing more of. And some of them are good, and some, you know, like, you know, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but,
yeah.
But
no, that's it.
I'm getting, you know.
That's interesting that you brought there too, and that brings me to another question here. But before I say that, just a footnote. Although Paul's actually in the state, but for those of you that are big Yingling fans out there that have been looking out for the Hershey Porter, is coming out early this year, and I think it's coming out within the next week or so. So if you get Yingling and you're looking for the Hershey Porter, it is about to hit the shelves. Just so you're aware. I don't know why they went to bring it out early, but they're bringing it out earlier this year.
I just wish they push the porter more than the Hershey Porter. I think that porter.
The porter's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Little thin.
You know,
the Hershey Porter.
It's a bit thin.
A bit thin. I like the Hershey Porter just because, even though it's a bit thin, it's growing up on the East Coast because it was Hershey. I mean, I went to Hershey, PA as a kid all the time, so the Hershey chocolate. It brings back a lot of good memories with it. But
right.
It's got a nice sweetness to it.
They make them in Mexico now, so just take all that out of your head and stop
Oh man.
Yeah. You know, speaking of, like, it's because Hershey's and the Hershey's Porter, it is Halloween time. I feel like there should be more candy type beers out there. I mean, we have that. I mean, you have like the peanut butter stouts, but I've never seen like a Reese's peanut butter type stout anywhere anybody's done, or a Butterfinger type beer, or like if you were to put a candy bar in the beer, what candy bar would you actually want to use in a beer? What's your favorite candy bar you'd like to see in something?
Oh, I was gonna say favorite candy bar versus favorite candy bar in a beer might be actually slightly different.
Right. I wonder what you want to put in the beer.
You don't want to put peanut M&Ms in a beer, you choke to death. But
you know what I mean?
Like there it is.
They melt in your mouth. You're fine.
I went to a surplus outlet. You bastard people with your damn cars.
You got cars going by.
Okay. I made a peppermint patty porter. I actually went to the surplus thing and had this giant bag of sliced up peppermint patties. And I was like, well, let's do it. I threw it in a porter. It actually came out really, really, really good. So, I mean, that was just the flavor and the extra dark chocolate and stuff made it really good. I like Snickers a lot. But like I said, I don't know they made a Snickers beer, and then they actually had to change the label or something like that because of copyright things or something like that, because it was literally like a Snickers label. I always thought it was really funny because some of you guys aren't as old, and some of you are as old that you're listening and hearing. I was watching some old commercials from the 80s, and I saw a commercial for the pain reliever called Buffrin. And honestly, the Buffrin logo was exactly like the Snickers logo looks like today. It's brown with the same thing. And I'm like, oh my God, what have we done?
Thank you.
When you're in pain, why wait? Grab a Buffrin.
You're not going anywhere for a while, so grab a Buffrin. Yeah.
You were talking about Snickers, though. Snickers is my favorite candy bar. Zoom Beer here. The head brewer is Larry. He's also the owner. He does a beer that he calls Mars, M-A-R-Z, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a
right.
Mars
teasing
bar.
on the Mars bar, right?
Yeah.
But it tastes exactly like a Snickers bar, and it made my life so heavenly for that moment while I was having it. He is a master, and he has Maui the Trickster is another one of his, and it smells like an Almond Joy. It tastes like a Mounds.
Oh.
And
that's my favorite. Hey, I like
incredible.
Mounds. That's my favorite candy bar. Mounds.
It's amazing. He comes out with it every spring, and it's so freaking good. I can't even tell you. Zoom Beer is rocking the candy bar beer.
All right.
What was it? I think Southern Tier. They're out east. I had one. It was like an imperial coconut stout.
Yeah, they make a Blackwater series, and they do lots of those. Yeah, they're all 10%, and they do thin mint, the thick mint, the Girl Scout cookies mint candy bar. They do that cookie. They do hot cocoa. They did this. They did back in the day. They used to do mocha, and it was a chocolate, and then chocolate, and then Java. Mocha was the best, but they don't even do that anymore. It was a blend of their chocolate and their coffee that was really good.
I got mocha.
Yeah,
I got the nitro.
You know what? I don't like their nitro beers because I get this weird metallic note that I don't like out of it. You know what I mean? But like when they just had remember back in the day when bombers were a thing and it made it extra special because it was in a bomber? That's gone now, by the way. Thank you, humanity. But I really like their bombers of mocha. It was just so good.
People are more health conscious now.
Oh, bullshit.
So what's the candy bar?
I just like bombers because even like the Abyss is now in a 6-pack in 12-ounce bottles from Deschutes. And I thought the Abyss was a great bomber.
It was a great bomber.
Exactly. And you could save it and cellar it and have dates on it and things like that. And all this squidgy little writing that I can't understand because I'm an ignorant bastard. And I loved it. You know what I mean? But no. Bombers are gone. Bombers died a long time ago. They're in Dahmer's fridge right now.
Yeah.
Jeez. So what was the candy bar, Dave, that you were?
I don't know about a candy bar, but like I've always been like a huge fan of Boston baked beans, and if somehow you could incorporate that red candy shell into like a beer, I would be all over that. But
what's the Boston baked
bean?
It's candy.
I remember those.
You really like find them out at like a dollar store.
Kind of,
like they break your teeth.
Hot, but remember.
But you could find them at the dollar store. They're made by like the same company, I think, that makes like lemon heads, and they're like hard candy coated like peanut. And if somehow you could get that into a beer, I'd be all over Boston baked beans beer.
Okay, I'm on it.
Yeah. And I'm old school. Like I was a big fan of the Reggie bar. If you could get like a Reggie bar,
the old Reggie bar,
I'd be all over that too.
Yeah.
The caramel, the peanuts, the chocolate.
I hear peanuts being basically a thing here. Everyone's saying something with a peanut in it. That kind of stuff. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good with it, yeah.
Well,
Hot Butcher's
with
Fat
carrots
Bear?
popcorn. It was good.
I actually have it in the cooler. I haven't drank it.
Any of y'all remember?
Yeah, the Fat Bear from Hot Butcher, it tastes just like a peanut butter cup. The Reese's peanut butter cup.
I need to do that. Big Daddy.
That one was pretty spot on.
Any of y'all remember Peanut Chews? Those little candy bars.
Oh yeah, I just had one. Yeah, I just had one. They're
Those
good.
are
I
fun.
found it was that kind of vintage candy section, so I was like, give me that. Thank you.
Green shoes were good. I mean, for me, as Mal mentioned, Mounds was that candy with the dark chocolate and the coconut, or that flavor would have been great, and it probably would have been great on this stout. I don't know if any of y'all had the stout already from Humble Forge Brewery. I put it on the private chat. The Swinging Sticks stout, which is like 13%. I had bought that. I bought it for a Sunday thing I did with John and Neely, Georgia Beer Reviews.
Did you buy a 4-pack or a single?
I bought a single, and because the 4-pack was like almost $25, so I said,
okay. Because I was going to ask you guys that is like, what is your ridiculous price of ridiculous craft beers anymore? Because here they still seem to know the value of what they're getting, and they're doing like Humble Forgers $35 a 4-pack.
Yeah. This one was $25 for that. I mean, it's still pretty steep for a four. But a good thing I paid a single for it, and that was probably one of the best. I've always been biased towards Oscar Blues, 1050, and the Bourbon Barrel Age 1050, their Imperial Stout. But that one really kind of took the cake for me. That was 13%, just perfect bliss. I was so happy drinking that. I was like, man, my feelings. And I thought, maybe Mounds, or they add a little Mound, thinking about it, and I said, that was a good stout. If they, we talking a little candy, maybe a little Mounds and some coconut, dark chocolate,
You get Joe going, is that coconut? Is that coconut? Is that coconut?
You get his voice down.
He just goes crazy.
It skyrocket even higher, so. Yeah. But
that's awesome.
And Humble Forge is like I said, it's very interesting if you can find it. Like I said, I found it at near where my brother stays in Sewanee, Georgia, my younger brother. And I said, I'm going to get it. I've gone back several times to that same location to see if it's still there. They don't have it. They don't have it in that little section of their fridge. We could do a single and pick one. And but hey, but I was fortunate to try it, and hopefully I'll get it again. So.
I like the fact that you said Oscar Blues, because I'll tell you what, you like their 1050 and their barrel aged 1050. And I know this is sacrilege, but I really enjoyed it a lot. And when I had it back in the day, like I compared it to almost like Parabola good. I mean, it was deliciously good. And when I bought it, it was like $8.99 for a stovepipe can, which is ridiculously cheap for a good, a huge, nice barrel aged Imperial Stout that was, session strength. And that was good. But I'll tell you what, when you take those regular 1050s, I don't drink any 1050 fresh anymore. Those regular ones, I let them sit for years because they just get better and better, and they turn into this dark fruit, like old ale mixed with an Imperial Stout. It is like shivery good. Like
I'm thinking about doing that this year. If I can get the if I can get it, and see, that was so weird because last year I was looking for. I said, hey guys, every store I went to, in Duluth, Georgia, I went to up in Brookhaven, I went here and there. Hey, y'all got Oscar Blues 1050? Where? I say, we didn't get it this year. Oh man, all right. So went to this place. Nowhere. If it does come this year,
it's funny. I've seen it sitting on shelves here. That's how the beer world works. The beer world is like, you go to places and it's like, how do you have this on the shelf? This is like selling out everywhere. People don't buy it here. What? It's like.
Well, I remember when I was going for robotics class up in Auburn Hills, Michigan, they were using cases of fucking dragon's milk to prop doors open. It was fucking ridiculously stupid. They had bombers of dragon's milk for $4.99.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that would have been. It would have been going on that day. That day
they didn't have so much when I left.
Yeah,
I'll just say. Yeah.
The car was a little bit lower driving back.
Can you show us what shivery good is again?
I think.
Thank you.
Kind of like that girlgasm, if you know what I mean. That goes through your whole body.
I thought that was something that needed to happen again. So
yeah, that's what that. O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I'm going to store these. If I get the hands on the tip for it, I'm going to store it for as long as I have
Do it.
to.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
It's great. No, I
problem with
wasn't
sport is
sure
always the
because I just
patience. You
had
gotta
some.
stick in
My
there and
buddy
wait for it.
H for me. He sent me an old beer mail he's meant to send me, and I'll tell you what, I was just so blown away by how that thing aged. I just don't drink it fresh anymore. I'll drink the barrel aged fresh because it's just a glorious beer, but the regular I just let it age is because it's very, very good.
Yeah.
Well, you guys all did pretty much hit on the peanut thing. So I mean, Snickers is obvious. I got Snickers in the fridge. I would keep my Snickers in the fridge. I like them cold now. I got into that like a few years back. I don't know why I did, but I just did. And I'm thinking a little bit of a twist. I would say actually maybe sweet tarts for a sour ale.
You can just shut the stream down now if you want.
It's a little too thin for Paul.
Well, they kind of do that already, don't they? With the warheads and the
warheads. I've had the warheads.
Yep.
I was not thrown back by it. I
No,
felt like
of course not. Why would you be?
Yeah.
You're a human being.
Yeah. So I mean, it was like, I was kind of disappointed a little bit on what those ones were, but I don't know. Sweet tarts be kind of interesting for us.
What about?
But you guys all hit the Snickers, and we already talked to Reese's, so it's kind of like, where else can I go with it? You know?
Did they make a Nerds beer yet?
I thought I saw something that was a take of those.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The turds.
Guys, Chu just popped in and wanted me to mention Metal Monkey Brewing Company in Romeoville. They're in Romeoville, right? Yeah.
I think so.
But they have an Airheads beer. They have 4 different flavors. Okay. One of them is the mystery flavor. And then, of course, they have like the blue raspberry, the whatever the pink one is. I don't know. But they have 4 different flavors, and it's all Airheads. It tastes just like the candy. It was craziness.
Well, hopefully the mystery flavor is like the mystery meat, because
I was going to
figure that out in school.
I was going to say a reference. I don't know if anyone would get it, but one of them is iocane powder. Yeah. If you can get that, then you're pretty
good. Hey, that is inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Yeah. No, that's good. Now, I was going to say, when I was growing up, the thing was I didn't like them. And they actually remind me of energy drinks, actually, because I don't drink energy drinks either. But Pixie Sticks.
Oh yeah, straight sugar, homie. Yeah.
Boom, done.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. Yeah. I remember loving Hug-a-Jugs when I was a kid. The little grenade things that looked like Mickey's grenades, and I just sucking them down. And now I try to drink one. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. Oh my god, I can't do this.
Cool? I think from Pixie Sticks, from what I remember, I feel like the '80s were kind of the big decade for them.
Yeah.
Like, is it a coincidence that was also the big decade for cocaine? Like,
well, I did.
Like, let's put candy in this way. The kids will suck it up this way, while we're sniffing over here this way.
Remember, like
everyone gets it today.
Pixie Sticks.
We cut it up with a razor blade on a mirror, and then hey,
somebody's doing a line like, I got a great candy idea.
Yeah.
It was the age of innovation, good sir.
For those of you that missed the 80s, I'm sorry. We had a lot of fun.
All it was, basically.
Dave knows what I'm talking about.
all that thing was basically, a fruit juice mix, really. Yeah. And if you put it in some water, you make a drink. But people were just,
Now, as a kid,
Rob, what do you mean? Those of you that missed the 80s, we were all there.
No, but you were like young in the 80s. I'm talking about being like an 80s.
Yeah, I was probably, I was born in.
I was old enough for
I was born in 76.
Yeah, but you weren't old enough for stuff that was happening in the bars and the clubs and all the parties.
Yeah, Rod and I are the only ones with a little gray hair. Yeah.
Look, son, I remember Korea.
Yeah. Like, you don't have the stories where you look back like, I should have died that night.
Well, I
really enjoyed this lighting. This lighting actually doesn't show my grays as much as normal. I'm actually appreciative. I'm gonna stay outside all the time, like I don't already.
Of course, I have those stories. It was last Saturday.
There you go.
Was it Noon Whistle? They're in like the south suburbs. They got together with Old Irving, and they're putting out a beer that's made with Tang. So that'll be coming out.
Yeah.
I showed a picture of it where it's just all these empty like things of Tang. So I'm like, that's got to be kind of wild.
Why am I thinking Al Bundy? Hey, I'm thinking about Al Bundy right now.
Oh, really?
Al Bundy on American loved Tang. That was his favorite.
Oh, yeah.
There was
Oh,
another
my
brewery
favorite
that
Al
did
Bundy
that,
was
though.
"Don't you morons know how to light a boob?"
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
There's a brewery in, I think, Alabama that did one called T-, and it was, I don't know if they used Tang in the recipe or if they just based it on Tang, but there was one called T- that tastes very much like Tang.
The astronauts, the drink the astronauts took to the moon. To the moon.
Yeah.
Cheers, Wayne. Wayne's in the house. Wayne, I tried to reach out to you. If you want to come up, let me know, and I'll send you the link here if you want to join us for a bit.
Oh, God. I mean, who doesn't love movie quotes? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, they should just make a Pootie Tang beer then.
Pootie Tang. Oh, wow.
I wonder if you could
I
write
don't know
it.
what that would taste like.
It tastes like fish
Hey,
and
yeah.
fruit.
It'd be a little bit of that. I wonder if you could write a coffee table book of just movie quotes. Just like, you flip a page, new movie quote. Each page you flip through. Probably could be a great idea for somebody.
I think
I mean,
it's
there
in
you
the
go.
bargain
Right
section
there
at
with-
Barnes & Noble right now.
Oh, page
Roger,
5.
you need to be writing
Life
all this
is like
down.
a
You
box
got
of
your
chocolates.
coffee table book.
I mean, I spent
Life is like a
spent
box
most
of
of my life
chocolates.
doing
Page
that.
6.
So
We need
Yeah.
a bigger boat. Oh, we do need
yeah,
a bigger
there
boat.
it is. Yeah, I mean, like for being a pale, friendless virgin for almost 50 years, I mean, I could do that.
Yeah. Flip ahead to page 15.
It is.
$5 for a milkshake?
Yeah.
I'm going to bug you guys for a minute. Chu ran up and brought a beer that he wanted me to tell you about. So, Around the Bend Beer Company.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar. Well, I know Chicago folks are, but they do a pistachio cream ale that is to frickin' die for. This one is Oktoberfest. It has kind of a Day of the Dead mixed with Oktoberfest thing going on.
Very nice.
It's a Marzen lager with pasilla, chili, and epazote.
Okay, what's their
So-
address? I'm going to send them a package in the mail.
So this one has the Marzen start to the sip. It ends with like a chili pepper weirdness that is kind of amazing. It's the strangest thing. You don't expect any of it, and you feel very lost by the end of the sip. But you're happy that you went on the trip. So
You
gotta
feel
say,
lost
I was
and
really
despondent. That is a great tasting note. I feel lost and despondent. I don't know where I'm doing in my life, but at least I drank it.
well,
I know
usually
that's
I don't
amazing.
say that until about beer 8. So I
Well,
mean, if
I'm
I do it on
saying,
the
like,
first beer, that's great.
I would have to try it. I'd have to try it before I blew up their brewery. But
It's
I'd have to try it first.
craziness. It's crazy.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
What about I mean, to me, it's like ruining a Marzen. But at the same time, I mean, you seem to enjoy it. I have to give it a try.
It started Marzen. It started total
You know, but at the
Marzen,
same
and all of a
time-
sudden it does a M. Night Shyamalan switch on you, and you don't.
Don't
know
ever mention
which
him
way's up
again,
anymore.
please, for God's sakes. I mean, God, I can only take so much. But at the same time,
Shyamalan,
you know, no, I hate
Yeah,
his
that
guts.
one.
He's a horrible director. But at the same time, that's what we have beer review for. So you can make comments like that seem completely ridiculous, and then do the beer review and be like, but at the same time, and you're like, well, I got to try it now. You know what I mean? Like, I got to try it
I
now.
explained a farmhouse ale once as sipping through a straw from a puddle off a dirt cellar floor. And
That's
I
what I
loved the
do
beer.
once a week.
I loved the beer. It
There you go.
tasted like sipping the puddle off of dirt cellar floor because it was a farmhouse ale, and that's what it's
Yeah, I
supposed to
know,
taste
I know,
like.
I know. I
And I
always
loved
said
it.
my biggest joke was like, if anyone said horse blanket as a tasting note in a positive way, I was going to
I
punch him.
know. Well, no, I'm sorry. Sometimes it does. I love farmhouse ales.
The word-
I
like
know,
the
but
weird
it's like, I was
ones.
like, have you been by many horses?
Well,
they
yeah.
stink.
The words that we
They
use in
do.
craft, the words that we use in craft beer are amazing at times. Just kind of like
Oh no, it's
I
true.
know.
It's a lovely
use
thing.
anywhere outside of craft beer, they'll be like, "That does not sound good," but you don't know what I'm coming from when I'm talking.
But no, but at the
Beer.
same time, we can have
Fits.
stupid conversations like this and still laugh about it and not get angry.
Yep.
Because that, you know, there you go.
And
It's
she
so funny.
also brought me a replacement beer. It's the O'Fallon Vanilla Pumpkin Beer.
Oh, I haven't
Because we-
known Alan in a while. Oh,
Yeah.
I've had the O'Fallon pumpkin ale. True story. This was Christmas night. It was a Sunday. The Packers were playing somebody, and this was Christmas. I guess probably the Bears. and I had the O'Fallon beer in my hand, and one of the a friend of mine's, her daughter looked at it, asked, "Hey, Jean, what kind of beer is that you're drinking?" "Oh, it's the O'Fallon Pumpkin Ale." You know, and they all looked at me and they started giggling, started chuckling, laughing because it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't a Budweiser, it wasn't whatever. It was pumpkin, you know, oh, it was a pumpkin thing, you know. And I'm drinking that while I'm watching the football game, you know, and it was fresh, but you know, hey.
JP gets chastised by the family on his beer choices at times during the holidays.
So,
that one has a different smell, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
So
Big smell.
But I'm going to come back to the pumpkin thing because I was going to talk about the pumpkin beers at some point here too. Because I read a poll last weekend, like 70-something% of people watching did not have a pumpkin beer yet this year. And I feel like people are kind of getting burnt out on some of the pumpkin beers. So I'm going to come back to that though. But I thought it was interesting what Erica put out there because he said, praying out how Butcher doesn't become a Three Floyds. I don't think of Three Floyds having any type of issues as a brewery. I don't know if it's just something maybe Eric thought you were maybe resting on their laurels or something like that or anything. But what do you guys think? Like,
I don't know.
I've
seen new stuff from Three Floyds, and I've been blown away with almost everything I've seen from Three Floyds. Floyds. All the new stuff I've seen has just been really, really good.
Yeah.
Blood of the Sun, the Pillars of Strength, and stuff like that. They've just been the stuff that's been coming in my area. Finally, all high ABV, some barrel aged, you know, and just wow.
Yeah.
Pretty on the wow side, you know what I mean? Like I don't know social scruples. I really don't pay attention to that stuff because if you have emotions, then you're a failure anyway. But it's one of those kind of deals. But other than that, I've really liked Three Floyds. I would be more construed about Dark Horse's scruples of making bad beer and purposely selling it overpriced price as a sour ale to other people.
Did Dark Horse do that? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they did that 3 times now.
Oh wow!
With a sour Plead the Fifth, and the other one went really sour, and they called it King of the Woods. And actually, remember? I don't know if you were one of the Canadian guys. He actually bought a thing for $60 a bottle, and it was just the worst thing you've ever put in your mouth. And I put some pretty bad things in my mouth, and it was a really, really, really bad beer. It was so bad.
Not at all. Did they get really bought by anybody, or are they still Dark Horse? Like, did they change?
No, they're still independent. They're still independent.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still independent as far as I know.
They got kind of bailed out though.
They
were having trouble, and then Roak, ROAK.
Roak, yeah, I've had Roak beers.
They bailed them out though. Like their little bakery, because they used to have like a coffee shop bakery at the front of Dark Horse. Now that's like our Roak, and then the bar out in the barn. It all says Roke now. So they got saved because they were having trouble during COVID, and they got bailed out by Roke. And so now they're kind of working together. Like Roke is using their space, but they're still Dark Horse. Because we just filmed over there. So
yeah.
I was really not a bit. I had their I can't remember. It's a cinnamon toast. It was like a French toast beer, an imperial stout. It was all the same thing but different. It was an imperial stout. Experience oatmeal stout or whatever with different stuff on it. A couple times I've had some of those, and they were really, really. And I was wondering why they were so cheap. They're like $9.99 a 6-pack for a barrel aged French toast, this and that. And I drank it. I go, oh, that's why, because it was shitty. Whoa. But at the same time, completely drinkable. Yeah.
I mean, Dark.
So you were just there. You were just there.
We were there a couple months ago. It takes time for our editing process.
Plus, but that's fine.
We had our road trip in the middle, so yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's nice that
you've
been doing so many road trips this whole time. It's nice. It's invigorating to see people getting out the whole time.
I love it. I just love getting around to see all the people.
I just went over
to visit everybody.
I just went to Lake Ontario for no reason last weekend because I'm on my fake retirement. I decided to tell my boss to go, eat it, and I quit for 2 weeks, and I found a new job, so I start Monday. But
why didn't you go to Beerpalooza then?
Well, because I didn't want to.
Okay.
Well, I didn't want to go because I thought we were supposed to do a couple different things there. We were supposed to go to a Bigfoot festival and go to here and go to the Beerpalooza and stuff like that, and I didn't want to spend the extra money because I was worried about money and stuff to go. And then we got some. I talked to my girlfriend, and she said about going up to here, and then we just take a drive. And I said, let's take a drive. And I realized where we were, which was on the cusp of New York border. And I was like, look, 14 is the same road we're on. If we just go straight up, I always wanted to take that ride. So we literally just took the ride right up. We checked it out. We had some beers. We checked some things out and drove right back. So we didn't have to pay too much for anything. You know what I mean? It was real cheap technically, but we got to see some stuff. I wish I would have went to Beer Palooza. Don't get me wrong. It just then you would have had the hotel. Then you would have had this, and you would have had that. And I didn't want to make sure. And this is the first big trip to a beer thing with my new girlfriend. I'm like, I don't want to. If I go there, I can't get drunk because I got to drive to a hotel room. I have a beer thing. You know, this I can't do this, can't do that. So it's like
with that crew at Palooza, you knew you were getting drunk. So yeah,
that's why you got to marry your beer person.
I mean, I'd end up naked on top of a fucking telephone pole. I mean, it would have been crazy. And I was like, you know what? Let's not do this today.
Paul, this is why you need to marry your beer person. So when he ends up naked on top of a pole, I'm not surprised because we're married.
You're like, oh, well, you know, get in due time. In due time, my lady.
I hope he's listening to this downstairs. I really hope he heard I just said that.
Yeah. Well, that he's gonna be naked on top of a telephone pole pretty soon. So there you go.
He might just
when he's
do
out
it for
there
fun.
doing and he's all naked. And I go, oh, he heard me.
He'd have his phone playing the King Kong theme as he's climbing the pole and stuff. You know, it'll be
swatting down fake airplanes, having a good time. That's
bats,
good. Yeah.
Moths, whatever.
Rod, is the other Paul in the chat right now?
Yes, he is in the chat.
Nipple flip.
Yeah.
Little bastard.
But with Dave and Mal being right there on the border too, kind of with Indiana, like Three Floyds, any comment there that you thought as well? Like you don't see anything really bad with Three Floyds, right? Like where you're anything?
No, I mean they still put out solid stuff. I just remember, 8 years ago, anytime you'd go there, you'd see no zombie dust. Like you would drive there and they just had signs out for no zombie dust. And now you could find it in the grocery store.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing. So, I mean, I don't think Hop Butcher is going to get to that because, they put out new beers every week. It's not like they have the same flagship. They don't have a steady one flagship beer. It's 2 new beers every week. So I don't think they'll ever get to that point where, we're not going to be able to have this because I don't think Hop Butcher gives a shit. We're putting out 2 new beers a week. This is what we're putting out. And people still line up to get it.
Yeah.
Dave just answered my questions. He just answered my questions right there because I was going to say, what's their core? What's that core beer that everybody wants? We don't have one. Well, then fuck it.
Yeah.
Their core beer that everyone wants is whatever it happens to be in the store. Anything you can get your hands on is what
I will tell you what Hop
beer
Butcher, that double grid was pretty damn good. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, and the stuff like their collabs that they've done with Revolution, Maintains and Shapes, those have been killer.
They've been great.
And they do rotate beers. I've seen beers come back and out from stuff they've sent out and everything. Yeah.
And
got a new one
even
here.
the stuff, I mean, they're known for their hazy New England style.
Right.
But everything I've had from Hop Butcher that's been away from that has been even better than the hazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like they
do good on stouts. Like people don't everybody thinks like but their stouts are really
good.
Yeah.
Their stouts
they
are
did a
phenomenal.
West Coast that was absolutely killer. I almost like their non-hazies better than I like their hazy stuff.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
I agree.
It's amazing when these craft beers they'll collaborate from time to time on different stuff. It's like you always think one craft brewery and another craft brewery. No, we ain't gonna work with y'all, or But usually it does happen, and they do put out some good stuff. I think there was one. There was some collaboration. It might have been from Humble Forge. The folks who did the Swinging Stick Stout did a collaboration with some brewery.
They just did a collaboration with Fair State Brewing Company recently.
Right.
Yeah, Humble Forge did.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was from them, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Dovetail doing it right then if they're using staunch glasses.
Oh, James, we have to go back. We need to hang out again, James.
Yeah,
'Cause that'll be
Dovetail is
fun.
definitely on the list when I get back to Chicago again.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a comment that Eric had made earlier too. I put it up there, but yeah, you're seeing more of the craft breweries appealing to the lager side of things. So you're going to see more lagers pop up in a lot of the shops, I think, because they're trying to draw other people in. And lagers are just the easiest way to go because here the lager is king in the country for the most part. So people are used to that. So
They're
a lot of
actually
breweries
harder to
got
brew,
into
though.
it. Well,
Yeah,
are they
twice as
harder
long.
or are they just more involved? I always think they're more involved and harder. It's just a
They're
different
more.
setup.
I mean, if you do it right, the lager is to store them.
Right. The
You
store
have
and
to
everything.
to lager them and stuff like that. And the problem is, I just went down to that beer distributor, and I saw a 4-pack of Czech style Pilsner, or the dark Czech style Pilsner for $22 a 4-pack. I'm sorry, you can take all those and shove them directly up your asshole.
Well, I mean, with the
Thank goodness for singles. Thank goodness you could buy a single and go from there. So
it's like the one thing you do with the them trying to do that push is they're trying to get more people because people will hear lager, they think it might be something a little bit more easy to drink. They might be more pulled in to kind of do that. But with the craft breweries, what I'm noticing again is getting into more of the hopping with it too. So you're getting a little bit more of a bite than a regular lager. Which brings me to another thing. So now we got the whole thing, and I bring this up like every few weeks or so because since I have you all in here, I'll get your guys' take. We now have the
mine will be offensive.
Well, imagine that. We now have the dropping of the cold IPA, which to me is just a rebranding of the IPL. And I think me and Dave talked about this before. What is your guys' thoughts on that whole process? Like, because I feel like they said, well, nobody knows what the IPL is, but if we put IPA on it, people will start trying it. And I think that's what they kind of did because the outcome result, taste-wise, is pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Good sir, we're the land of the abbreviations. We know what everything means.
And have you guys been drinking any of the cold IPAs?
Now, I haven't had an IPL in a long time, and honestly, I miss them because I actually really, really enjoyed them. It was a rare case, and I understand that some of my friends get upset by IPLs because they're overhop lagers. But when you do them right, they are fucking poetry. Mm-hmm. They really are great. They're easy, they're clean, they're refreshing, they're hoppy, they're everything. But obviously, I would get burnout if I did too many of them. But you have to remember, some of the greatest lagers in the world are Baltic porters, which are big old bitches that will fuck you up.
I mean, there was one, if you want to say glacial, that I tried. That was the Sweetwater Glacial IPA. So I don't know if that was,
Did it say cold IPA on it, or was it just IPA?
That's what it said cold. So, I guess, looking at it, I thought this was, and I thought it was very enjoyable. Obviously, I had in the freezer before I reviewed it, and I bought another can. I had 2 cans, just to see, and I thought it was really good. But I guess that was viewed as an Indian Pale Lager, I guess, right?
Well, I mean, the cold IPA, it's basically you're brewing it a little differently, but you're still making the end result in the end. So you're looking at.
Are you using ale yeast to make a lager? Is that the point?
With the cold IPA, yeah. So you're basically using lager yeast to do it because you're going to kind of store it that way.
Now, I have a question because if you cold brew an ale, because I just did it in my brew house here, aka Shit Shack. I had the ale yeast get too cold, and it stopped fermentating.
So it got too cold for it. Okay.
So it got too cold. So, but that's what it got to would be lagering temperature.
Right.
You know what I mean? Once it drops below 70, it's going to really start struggling. You're going to get off flavors, or it's going to stall.
Well,
so how are we doing this, Mr. Magical Man?
If you're doing an ale yeast and you drop below 70, that's where you run into issues.
Oh, yeah, it can, but not
if you're doing a lager
cold.
yeast, it'd be cold, though, for lager yeast.
Yeah, but lager, it's going to get into that lager yeast territory after a while.
You let it go too far.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's very confusing. What kind of mystery magic are they using? Because that's the weird thing. Now, are they turning their fermenters down to 70 degrees, and that's what they consider cold? Like the border line of where the ale yeast should thrive? I don't know, because yeast has always been a kind of a mystery to me because I'm not a microbiologist or anything like that. So I just kind of go what is read on the package and go dump it in anyway. Fuck it, and I make beer. I mean, like that's kind of thing. I don't know.
Just throw it all in there.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Dave or Mal?
I haven't had a lot. Like we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I haven't had a lot recently of the cold IPAs at all. I mean, the ones that I've had in the past I've liked, but yeah, I haven't had enough right now recently that I could like give you a good judgment on them.
Yeah.
So I had one IPL on our road trip, and honestly, when I tasted it, if you blindfolded me, I couldn't tell the difference between that and a pale ale. It came across just the same. So the one that I've tried didn't wow me or make me think that it was a different style.
Right.
I wonder though if that was something though because of that brewery kind of experimented when maybe didn't know what they were actually doing.
It's possible.
Because I've had IPLs where you do get that crisp, refreshing feel of the lager, but you get that little hop on the back end that you don't get like with the regular lager. So it makes it stick out. It's like a hoppy lager is how it comes out. So
yeah. The one that I had, I remember it was actually Straub's, and Straub's is more of a old school brewing company in Pennsylvania. And for a while there, they were trying to do like kind of like you could kind of tell they're trying to get into that craft niche, like, oh, let's dip our toe in the water. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what, everything they made I really liked. But it was too hot in the water or too cold because they pulled their toe right back out of it. But I liked it. It was like, oh man, I can drink a lot of this. It had that zip of that nice hop taste, you know what I mean? And then it was that boom, cold, refreshing. That wasn't cold because it's me, but it had that kind of like nice, cool, refreshing kind of back end to it, clean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could drink more of this, no problem.
Yeah.
But then everybody seemed to. I mean, a lot of people tell you what, because I'm old and useless. That was 8-9 years ago now. Everyone was getting into it. Everyone was getting into that kind of thing. And then, as you can see now, just a little bit later, everyone pulled right back out and stopped doing IPLs because everyone started doing them real quick.
I mean, Yuengling did the IPL, and all of a sudden, I really liked it, and poof, before you know it, within a year, poof, gone.
Yeah.
Yep. Never came back either.
So I think it might have been, maybe it was something that they saw on the return
Eric
aspect.
knows about patience down. They're always thin.
Yeah. When people weren't buying enough, that breweries kind of backed off from it or so. I mean, I don't know. But it's just funny now because the cold IPA, I'm seeing more and more breweries pop out with them. And again, to me, I feel like you're brewing it a little bit differently, but in the end, you're kind of doing more of a marketing type switch just because the end result is what I'm looking at. That's not that much.
But isn't it all like cycles where, I mean, what was it, 7-8 years ago, everybody had a black IPA and then you couldn't find them. And now slowly they're starting to come back where in a couple of years, maybe you'll see the return of the Brute IPA and
oh, please
no.
Please stop it.
Let's not bring that experiment back.
No more Quebec.
That was the whole thing with the champagne.
Yeah, with the champagne.
Yeah.
Some of them were pretty good.
I had one solid one from a spot up in Ohio that I popped into a local brewery, but for the most part, it was like, I'm not a big champagne drinker, so for me, it was a big pass, hard pass. It's like, go ahead, just slide that down. Not as bad as Shandy, mind you, but just not.
No, but yeah.
What you got there? Lonnie Summer Shandy? Pass.
I thought that was your favorite.
My daughter came over to me yesterday and she's like,
I would do a Ziva before I do a
friend's
Lonnie
mom put
now.
soda in their beer. And I said, yeah, they do that in Germany. And they're like, what? And she's like, yeah, they do. In Germany, when I was there, they would take a Pilsner and put Sprite in it and call it a Gespritzen. And then in the darker times, they would put dark beer and put Pepsi in it and call it Krefelder. It's okay. And they're like, and my daughter's like, no, you can't do that to beer. I said, why are you a beer purist? You're fucking 14.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell's going on? And I said, I was in Germany. They did it. Actually, I drank I don't know if I said this story. When I was in Germany, I drank so many Crayfelders at the bar because I was the only asshole ordering them because I just thought they were really refreshing. And I drank so many of them. When I left the bar, they called it the Paul for a while.
Who keeps ordering these things they gotta make all that guy right there?
This guy.
I'm
I
with
drank
you,
I drank over 2 gallons of beer in one night. Just ordering it at the bar. And you know the fucking thing is, my tab was only like $40. What a great place!
That's a great
Wait,
place
only
right
2
there.
gallons? Was this a weeknight or?
No, there was free shots, and I don't drink liquor anymore, so I had free shots. So consider me wow.
Look, I don't blame anyone who loves those rattlers, those shandies and whatnot, but I just can't do them. I mean, I know who they're trying to target.
Oh, that's true. Cadbury chocolate is proper shit.
I can't. I
agree.
Candies,
Yeah, Buddy Mick
Yeah.
from over across in the UK, up late as well.
Now I
Thank you,
like.
brother.
I'm a bastard because that's probably an American thing, but I like the Cadbury caramel eggs more so the Cadbury regular eggs.
I like the caramel eggs. I go.
Yes, and I eat them. Like, they're gone. They're gone. I don't even chew them anymore. I found out my throat's opening up from my years of abuse that I can just swallow them whole, and that's easier.
Oh,
You don't have to worry about cavities.
Yeah, right on down. Hit the hole.
Then you burp
Don't
caramel all
encourage
day.
him, Rob.
Oh, I've tried to encourage Paul for years, but here we are.
Hi. He keeps inviting me on. The guy's crazy. He's wacko.
Oh.
Hey, by the way, we gotta hook up in Gettysburg at some point in time or something.
Yeah, we definitely gotta do because now we're closer and everything. So,
All right, what weekend, guys?
you gonna come down? You gonna come down to PA?
I'll see what I can do.
She was all about a road trip too, though.
I know we love to travel.
I know.
I think
she's been through PA on some of the shit I saw.
Yeah, we went over to Pittsburgh. I was taking my dad there for a Pirates game, and we went for the weekend and hit up a bunch of breweries.
It's the only smart sports ball thing to do.
Did you hit
sports ball move?
Did you hit the southern tier of Pittsburgh at all, or that's
we did? We were there for their Oktoberfest, actually.
Did you
Last year.
check out Full Pint, by the way, when you were there?
Which one?
Full Pint. That's a nice place that's local.
I don't think I saw that one. We went to 412 and we went to something Devil's
Hole?
I
Something
can't
like that?
remember. Something like that. It had like Devil's Tail on the.
Oh yeah, Devil's Tail. That's Devil, something like that. It's a Devil's Backbone, maybe.
Yeah, I think that might have been it.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Devil's Backbone. Yeah.
Yeah, Devil's. That's the brewery out of Virginia, ain't it? Devil's Backbone. That's
Oh, maybe that's Virginia.
I don't know. I remember
There
seeing
was a
something
Devil's
there,
one
but,
out of PA that we went to. I don't know.
Southern Tier has a brew house down there in Pittsburgh now, and so does Full Pint was from North Versailles, Pennsylvania, and then they're Versailles, I call it, but everyone says Versailles, which is weird because it's Versailles, whatever. But everybody,
it's America.
They opened up
in
Pittsburgh too. Yeah.
So
I mean, Pittsburgh. I tell you what, Pittsburgh is crazy. Like they have an amazing. If you look at like the beer map of Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh, if you just get like an Uber or walk, you can just do this epic fucking brew trail all through Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's a beautiful, beautiful old school city. Even though I hate people, cities, humans, and cars, Pittsburgh's nice.
It was fantastic. I'm so glad we went there. I want to go back because we still have a gift to deliver to Penn Brewery because we filmed there too. So we have to get back over there because I made them a craft.
Did you have
the Penn Dark while you were there?
Yes, and it was wonderful.
That's always a good thing.
I'm sorry, it comes natural to me.
Did you start?
Did you have a Penn Dark when you were there?
I did, and it was amazing.
I really like Penn Dark.
Did you start saying Ewins when you were in Pittsburgh?
Ewins? Y'all?
No.
Ewins.
No, they say Ewins.
Actually, there's a film company I really like from Pittsburgh. They make independent films called the Drunken Yinzers, and they're really funny guys. They just make shitty ass films. It's fantastic.
I have to worry
Yinzers.
sometimes when you talk about the films you like. I have to worry about that sometimes. Where you're
Oh, don't worry. It's all 8mm shit. Don't worry. I put my mask on. I become machine, and I chop up. It's all right. It's all good. We won't talk about that now.
Yeah, JTS. Sometimes we all maybe feel a little old there.
Nicolas Cage is still trying to hunt me down. It's fine. It's fine.
Mars Brewing in Chicago, but in the South Side, about an hour away, so I've never been there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Toffee.
I
Crisp
feel bad that I
Bucks.
didn't really get into
No,
Chicago
ours is
back in the
good.
day because when I was up there, I was in Hoffman Estates. I went to Schaumburg. I was in that area when I was in Chicago area. Yeah, and it was really nice. I really liked it. I went to the I think it was called the Bavaria Hoft, German restaurant up there in Schaumburg, and I really had a great time. I had good German food. It was really great because it was a lady and her daughter, and she was just like angry at everyone. It was fantastic. It kind of got me hard, and she was just mean to everybody. And then she found out that I was in Germany before, and then she was so nice to me. She's from then on, because I was there for business, so I came up there like every day, and she was nice to me. I mean, at some point in time, she offered me her daughter in marriage. It was a very, very amenable place, and it was one of those ones where it was just like once you got in there and once you were okay with the lady that owned it and was like dealing with it, it was just like, hey, you're back. Get over here, eat food, drink beer, have fun. I'm like, yes, ma'am. I will do whatever you say. Thank you. It was so good.
Places.
It was such a nice place.
Those are the best
It was
places.
such a nice place.
And this is why you should,
it was behind a Taco Bell over in Schaumburg. It was like it had a mini mall with a Taco Bell, and you had to go like weasel your way behind the mini mall, and it was back there, and it was a fucking fantastic place to eat. It was really, really good. That was the first time I had Einbecker Dark, the Schwarzbier and stuff, which ever to this day, as soon as I see Einbecker, I have to buy it because it's there. It is. Here you go. Good times. And it was a great time. And I like that because it's amazing about America and where you travel. I mean, you guys have all traveled. You've all been moved from different areas and stuff. You always find that one local area, that local place that has just so much spirit and energy that you just love going back. And if you move, if you leave, you miss going there.
Yeah.
That's that one place,
True. And Mick's giving out dating tips there in the chat, by the way. So if you can get your lady when he's Honeycomb Center, you're set for the night.
No, what you do is you buy her. I'll tell you what. Here's the best dating tip in the world. Nick, calm down. You buy a bouquet of pretty flowers because no woman, even if she doesn't like you, will not smell the flowers when you give it to her. And you put ether inside the flowers. And then date's on. Date is on. Thank you. Tip sent. Free of charge. Call me later.
All learned from the Bill
Right.
Cosby.
Good advice.
Paul, just give up now. Just give up now.
If I took that advice, I'd be dead long ago.
You're lost.
Didn't need a clue.
You know for a fact, you know for a fact, if you put ether down in the flowers, it's going to be too dispersed. She's not going to get enough ether to actually pass out. See, you're doing it all wrong.
And this is why I have an expert here. That's why you're here. Your beer review / dating advice 101. Thank you. Everyone subscribe to Melanie. Thank you.
Somehow we ended up at the Bill Cosby dating school clinic. I don't know.
Oh boy.
I don't know how we got here.
It's pudding
You
pop
better have it more centralized.
Cover your drink, you're right,
Amongst
Dave.
the flowers, it ain't gonna work. Just so you know.
You're right, JT.
Hey, JT, cheers, man. You've been a long time commenter on my channel, too, so cheers to you, man.
JT's a good guy. Yeah, and if you guys haven't checked out all their channels, as you see up here, well, Dave didn't put his up there, but Beer in Front, the podcast, and Mal.
Don't go to mine.
Crafts. JP put up Beverage Ramble, but it's John H. Pierre. It is John H. Pierre, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Paul's PA Brew News. So
3 words now. See?
yeah, right?
Yeah.
not Pa Brew News, but PA
Pa Brew News. Yeah, no. It's Paul from PA Brew News Reviews. As my buddy Lance the Lush says, and I like to say, Chance
Does
the
Lance
Plush.
even do the beer things anymore? He got married.
Not
I don't even know
really. He
what
does a little thing, right? I'm on Facebook with him, so he pops things up now and again. So he's still
Yeah.
good.
Beer is so
Yeah,
good.
because every time he would call me Paul from PA Brews News Reviews and stuff, he'd get it wrong. So I started calling him Chance the Plush.
I think
He
Paul.
goes, "That's not my name." I said, "I know."
Paul's getting guys in the comments all riled up. Now I got Gilbert throwing stuff out there.
Wait, which beer is Eric talking
A
about?
beer so good it felt like you nutted, and the first time in 6 years. Actually, it was 10 years. I was married, asshole.
You get guests like this on your show, Dave?
No,
This is
not
fun.
until I invite all you guys
I'm
on.
fun, so.
YouTube's a little
Hey,
different
I'm
than
being
the podcast.
polite. I'm
I
being
got a
really
lot
nice
of free
today.
time
God
now. I
damn
just
it.
lost my gig after 35 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob will say I'm being really polite. I've been crazier on other beer reviews.
Yeah,
They've had to have
sure.
taken streams down because I get a little crazy.
I think the
I'm just
scariest
saying.
I've seen Paul before, when I did Paul's 101, he was like so serious. Like, what the fuck? Like, what do you do? Like, you and Red Beer were two people I did not expect to be as serious.
Oh,
as
I'm
you are.
sorry.
Like,
Yeah, I didn't go crazy. I was trying to be polite because it was like, oh my God, it's a beer spotlight. This could make or break my career. I gotta be serious. Put the face on. Hide the pudding pops.
The beer I just finished was from Oliver Brewing. It was Bronco and Zip Hoodies.
Oh my God, I
Broncos
haven't
and
had
Zip
Oliver
Hoodies.
in years.
This is the 9% Imperial Brown Ale with espresso. And now I'm going to go into a classic that they just brought back, the Great Lakes Blackout Stout.
Oh.
So,
Oh,
Everything-
good
I
time.
love everything.
You should have told me it was from Oliver. Oliver puts out good beer like you couldn't believe, but it's so underappreciated.
yeah, it is. Or what you get. I mean, every
Oh
time
my
one
God.
of the ones I get a good amount of
Oliver
stuff
puts
out
out so much good shit. It's ridiculous. And no one ever talks about Oliver Brewing Company. And actually, the weirdest thing, if you look at Oliver Brewing Company's logo,
Mhm.
most people get it confused with the Yagna O's because it has
Oh,
that
yeah,
O
the
with the
side.
stuff on it.
Yeah,
It looks like
yeah.
that.
And of course, since it's Oktoberfest season, I got to use my Oktoberfest bottle.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But if
I
you, haven't
actually
had
got-
if you haven't had the Great Lakes Blackout Stout, definitely recommend it, and recommend you getting it now when you see it, because they just brought it back after not having it for a few years, and I don't know when they're going to bring it back again.
Nice. I got this
How
old
often-
barrel one. I got this
Hey, guys.
old barrel bottle opener from my grandmother's house.
Oh,
it says
nice.
Dial Stainless USA right on it. So, it's old as shit. But it's a good bottle opener. Still going.
There
Still
you
a good
go.
bottle.
Yeah, the one I got here was from the Oktoberfest festival back in Cincinnati for one of the German sellers. So I'm going to say it's authentically German. So
Dave,
There
you
you
gonna
go.
say something? Dave, you gonna say something?
Dave's got a 6-point. I wonder what
You
6-point
wanna
you
say
cracked open.
I just busted open an anti-hero.
Oh, nice.
Revolution.
Oh, Revolution. I thought it was
Revolution,
6-point. Okay.
Yeah. I had just finished the Harpoon Retro Rye IPA.
I love
drinking
rye.
that. Yeah.
How was that?
That was really good. That was really
Yeah.
good. I've had Harpoon. I think this was a seasonal thing, mostly after the summer. The store where I bought it at, they were getting rid because from what he was telling me, that Georgia has been getting a lot of beer, so much that they have nowhere to kind of contain all of it. So I bought a 6-pack for $4.99 of that Harpoon.
Did you ask him to park it at your house?
Yeah.
I should.
I got a garage. You just filled up.
Refrigerated
bud.
trailer in the backyard. You're good to go.
We're good, man.
My apartment had the closet space, but I should have bought me a plethora of those 6-packs. But yeah,
You
that
moved
was
to a 2-bedroom for that. Shit. Yeah.
So
Everyone's
JT
doing their part.
Yeah.
So JT says we do lambic floats with Lindemann's raspberry, which
Those
isn't a
are
bad thing.
so good.
But no,
It's
but
so good.
here's the funny thing. Then he comes back with the next comment. I saw a taffy appleberry recently, but dessert beers aren't my thing. You just posted you do a Lindemann raspberry with float.
If there's
That would be- that
no
would be
soda
dessert.
ice cream, I'm not into it, man.
You have to do the Lindemann float, and then you have to do the Not Your Father's Root Beer float together.
They still
So you
make
have
Not Your
one of
Father's root
each.
beer? They still make
Yeah, they
that?
do.
Oh my god, that should be taken
And by the way,
If
that
you
was
can,
the
if you can
biggest.
find it, yes.
That was the biggest scam, in my opinion, because when I tried the Not Your Father's root beer or the Not Your Father's soda, what is this? This is not root. This is just. There's
But
nothing in this.
they had it on tap
Well,
here,
yeah.
and like some places it was 18%.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like people didn't
Now, if
know.
that
and
was
they
it,
would
then I would say okay. But when I
it's
tried
like,
the one
I
that
need to
they
walk
sold,
home after this.
Yeah, right?
when they sold in Alabama was 5%, and I think I might have bought one here. But again, I was like, come on, really, guys? Really?
I didn't know they were still
Well,
making. I
the
haven't
thing
seen this
is, they
for a while.
only got still. I love the fact that this is a mass-produced, like Jean Pierre knows, like this is a mass-produced beer that was shipped everywhere. Well, we had limited stock, and they charged extra prices for the limited stock. We got 27 cases. It's in the back behind a tarp, but it's limited stock, so it's one per customer. And it's, oh
So,
my god, it's like $25 extra a bottle. And
so
fuck you.
it had been out for 1 year at the time. I was driving down to Bloomington, Illinois, middle of the state, passing through a little town called Pontiac, Illinois.
Oh, cognac. Oh, okay.
No,
That's in
Pontiac.
Michigan.
Oh,
Pontiac.
Pontiac. Oh.
We stopped there, just bathroom break, right? But we found a little pub, just random little bar, hole in the wall, dive bar, whatever. Walked in, and they had Not Your Father's Root Beer on tap. It had only been out for a year. I don't know how they got their hands on it, but I don't think they knew what they had because they were charging $2 a pint on the Not Your
Okay,
Father's
so it's
Root Beer.
about
Hmm.
$1.59 too much.
But they were
No, I get
serving
you.
it with
I'm
ice
sorry.
cream.
Oh,
But they were serving it with ice cream.
With ice cream, and okay.
They were serving it with ice cream. So we walked in and we ordered that because we were amused that we found it for less than $9 outside of the city. And the little bar turned out being a really fun space. Like anyone who won $20 on the machines would buy a round for the bar. I bought maybe 2 rounds for the bar while we were there. My whole tab ended up being like $25 when we left. It was ridiculous. And I still have some wooden nickels to go back and get free beer. So
There you
it was a
go.
great place. But
So it served it,
yeah.
it served it
Basically-
on ice cream.
Basically, you discovered Roadhouse on your trip.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Did anyone get kicked in the face while you were there? Because that's what happens.
No, everyone super
Yeah,
happy.
I mean, but they got right on ice cream, served right on ice cream. There you go.
Yeah, pretty
There
much.
has been beers
Oh
done
my
with hot
God.
dogs. They have done beer with hot dog stuff, so yeah.
All right, I got Phase 3 Miu. It is a toasted coconut porter.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
So, yeah, toasted coconut porter, 6.3 on this one. And I just saw a comment about hot dog beer. Is that what I just saw?
Yeah, so Gilbert was
I
asking
have
how
a
about
hot dog beer, too.
water beer, but they've done like not platform. It was somebody else did a hot dog beer like thing. So it would
Sheets
pair
did.
with hot dogs. Sheets, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I told you. Ha ha ha.
So there's
But
a
it was
brewery
really
up
good
in-
because it was Zaz hops and it worked right.
There's a brewery up in Traverse City called Right Brain, and they have a pork beer where they use actual pork in the brewing. And like the first two times they did it, it was deadly, so they couldn't serve it to people. So this is the 4th version that I have in the fridge, and it's fine apparently.
They didn't
So-
cook
Did you have
the
the
first
right
couple
brain?
times, I guess.
Right Brain in
Right
Traverse
Brain,
City.
did you ever have their asparagus beer?
Yes, I
It
loved
used to make
it.
your pee smell. Yes, it did.
I love that beer. It was really tasty. Oh, I'm sorry. She
Okay,
just
okay,
brought up-
look. You
Hold
can't
on.
get me hard and then just walk away with
on.
fucking pork
Right
and then
brain.
asparagus.
Are
Okay,
you seeing-
Jesus Christ, what are you doing now?
Pig porter.
Pig porter. So was the
Pig?
pig? The pig must have been cooked this time. 'Cause I'm thinking they must have done it without having it cooked or something. If it was
So
like
it
deadly.
says a casual conversation at a pairing event inspired our gold medal winner. Now you have this velvety complex creation within your grasp, brewed with real pig heads and bones. This
Oh,
rich
that's
and
hot.
chocolately porter sings with smoky aroma and savory bacon notes. Soon
South
you'll
Park.
understand tasting is believing. 6.8% ABV. drink as
Now
fresh
that
as
is a
possible.
ham-ass
Whoa. So hold up. That reverse it. What ABV?
6.8.
Throw it
It's
away.
not a vegan beer.
It's all part of recycling, right?
So Chew wants to point out this is not a vegan beer, just so y'all know.
Do you pair it with
I
ribs?
appreciate that, and I like it. But if you said 16 point something, I would be a little bit more on. But at the same time, I gotta try one.
And then you pair it with ribs, like I'm meeting your cousin, I'm drinking your cousin. You know,
We haven't tasted it yet. We
Yeah,
have it in the
drinking
fridge. But yeah.
Yeah, them jowls and ligaments. You like head cheese? It's good. You
Yeah.
like it? Texas Chainsaw.
I would have thought
Good time.
they would use ears and snouts for it. I mean, what do you do with the ears and snouts? Where do they go? Got to go somewhere.
They go in the fucking beer, man. Come on now, and then you give it to your
Apparently
dogs, and
so.
he's all
Either
drunk
the
and
beer
happy.
or the hot dogs. They might go into the hot dogs.
Don't come over here, I'll smush you.
Nobody wants to think about that in hot dogs.
Are you sure hot dogs are pork?
The pork.
I was gonna say,
chicken-
like, I
pork,
mean,
chicken,
like,
and
if people
beef,
are,
unless you get the all
you know,
beef.
most
I get
people
all
are
beef.
so worried about like ears and like jowls and cheeks. I was like, you know the amount of like pig testicle that's in your hot dog that you're not worried about? Like, I'm totally cool with fucking pig nut, but not ear. Oh, that's gross.
That's
Paul, you keep
protein.
talking. Everyone's going to leave the chat. Shush.
That's good.
No,
That's
if they're
good.
here, they know Paul already, so they're used to it. So
True.
I'm a closer. You know, they call those people that like come in and do like HR for companies. They're closers. That's me. I'm a closer. Keep it down. Keep it
Ariana
down.
Rivera.
Keep it down now.
two Bob's like, what do you say you do around here? I close things. Yeah.
So
I
apparently
close it.
Chew
I'm
let a
trying. I'm
cat
trying
in.
to make sure that Rod's chat doesn't get too crazy, so we can keep up with it. Because I worry about Rod.
So Gilbert hit on the point I was going to bring up before. So what is the feedback? And I know JP's already had one tonight, but he put pumpkin beers low. So what is the
Where is
feel?
Eric from?
Canada, you know. So we
Well,
Give him
maybe
a
they
little
just don't know
slack.
how to grow pumpkins.
shots fired back.
Ooh. You know what? Maybe it's because they're
I'm
correct.
just guessing.
I mean, how are you guys feeling about pumpkin? I have not had.
I will tell you, Rod, flat out.
really
I'll
got any
just
pumpkin
jump
beers
the
this
gun.
year. So
I
don't know what
made
you guys are thinking.
16 extra channels just to vote no on pumpkin beers.
Last week.
Yeah.
Were you dropping? You were dropping the chat. You was going and bombing the whole poll.
It's the only fair thing to do. It's an American way, Rod.
Well, I mean, what about? I mean, what do you guys think? Like, do you still go get pumpkin? Do you still drink Warlock? Do you still drink?
No, I'll tell you what.
Head
I like.
pumpkin ale?
I'll tell you what. I had Warlock. It's not bad because it doesn't taste very pumpkin, like pumpkin-y. It just has a very subtle spice. I wish the malt base was a little bit higher on pumpkin because I'll tell you what. And this just might be me. Let me get my 2 cents out real quick. I'm not a big spice beer guy. Like the spices, they really attack my palate. I'm not a big fan of them. So I like low-key spices in beers. And if you have a huge malt base like Rum King from Avery is nice because it's nice ABV, huge barrel age. It takes away from the spices. But other than that, it's really not my thing. And I've tried to brew some at the house too. It's just not my thing with all the spices. They kind of inundate my system a little bit too much. But if you like pumpkin beers, man, that's fine. It's okay. Drink what you want.
What about you, Dave, Mal, JP? Thoughts? Pumpkin beers? I mean, like I said, I know John, you've had one earlier tonight.
I mean, the New Holland one was good. What was it, Ichabod? But I haven't had that in a couple of years, and I just think I'm pumpkined out between pumpkin spice, oil changes, and everything else. I'm just kind of pumpkined out where I don't think I've had anything pumpkin, outside of a regular like pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. I couldn't tell you the last pumpkin thing I had.
Yeah.
I bought some stuff today. I'm probably some of y'all probably have had this already. Probably not. The Left Hand peanut butter milk stout. I'm sure y'all had this.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is from Abita down here. Well, further down. This is the Barney. Their collaboration of the Purple Haze and the Andy Gator. But interestingly enough, the ABV is only 6%, 6.1%. So
Abita still make Turbo Dog?
they still make Turbo Dog, yes. Still make
I
Turbo
love
Dog.
Turbo Dog was one of like my OG craft beers that I loved back in the day.
The one I haven't been able to find is their Wrought Iron IPA. That's the one I've been having trouble looking for.
Okay.
I've been wanting.
I haven't seen that in a while either. I haven't seen Abita beers in a while. I haven't seen Abita beers at all since I moved to Baltimore, but in Kentucky we used to get them.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Straw Gator was the Andy Gator with the strawberry lager. That was a good collaboration. And of course, everybody's had this legendary classic right here, Death by Coconut, House Car Blues. Yeah.
That was actually the first beer that actually changed my attitude toward coconut. Like, I was never a huge coconut fan. Like, you guys talking about Mounds, I never really liked Mounds as a kid.
Yeah.
But I had Death by Coconut years ago, and it was like, this isn't that bad, actually. Maybe I just like coconut in beer.
Yeah.
I don't like it on.
I really didn't like
I don't
their
like
Death
it on-
by
I don't like it on
Chocolate
other
Cake very
stuff.
much. Remember that? Did you have that one, Death by Chocolate Cake?
I didn't have that one.
I didn't get
that one.
that up.
Death by Coconut was way better. Way better. It was really good beer. That was good. I
But
never
that
like
opened
you, Rod. I never had coconut growing up. I never liked the taste of coconut and never this. Death by Coconut was okay.
Yeah, it kind of opened
Hey,
my
does
door. Up to say,
Abita
okay,
still make Purple Haze? By the way,
as far as
remember
I
that-
know, but
remember Purple Haze?
John would actually know more because he got more of the Abita stuff. But I think
Yeah.
they still make, that's kind of like their flagship, right? Like
That's the
Was
Was
it? Was it? Yeah. That was the one that was always on tap up in Bloomsburg near where I was. Yeah, they always had that on tap. Purple Haze from Abita.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
saw Turbo Dog.
Yeah. Turbo Dog.
Yeah, I had
is
Turbo Dog. We used to
Still,
get Turbo
still
Dog.
being made. The Wrought Iron, I guess they're still making that IPA. And I know they got the Big Easy IPA, which is their session IPA. And of course the lager. Andy Gator is still being made. So, everybody's changing things. But the one thing I did enjoy from Abita was their bourbon barrel stout. I think that was at 11%, I believe it was. 10 or 11%. And I think they still make it, but it's, like you said, limited.
Yeah.
Limited edition.
It's going to cost you a little more. We got limited quantity. Yeah.
I agree, Mick. I get you.
Oh,
I don't like pumpkin pie. I hate pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin roll. I don't like pumpkin spice. I don't like pumpkin anything. I hate it.
You're
all.
not lined up at Starbucks when they bring back the
No.
pumpkin?
No. Remember, Unabomber.
He's
boom,
first
boom,
in
boom.
line.
No.
He protests too much.
He does.
He's first in
If
line.
you oversell it, it's like you're in a
That's
closet
fine.
about it, right? If you oversell it, you're kind of in a closet.
But
about
no,
it.
but
Deep
like that's the
inside,
thing
you
is
do
like when pumpkin beers come up, it's like, well, I don't like like if you like pumpkin pie, like you really love pumpkin pie, I really don't see why you wouldn't love like Pumpkin from Southern Tier. Like if you love pumpkin pie, there's no reason that if you love beer and pumpkin pie, well, guess what? We got the spice for you, baby. Like, and the thing is, like, I get it.
So Chu's birthday is in April, and all through his childhood, he didn't want cake for his birthday. He wanted pumpkin pie, so his mom would have to make him a pumpkin pie from scratch for his birthday in April because you can't find them otherwise.
Yeah.
So she always had to make him a pumpkin pie for his birthday.
Which is funny, yeah.
To this day, he's still obsessed with pumpkin, but he doesn't go to Starbucks. He doesn't do the Starbucks, the pumpkin spice thing, but he enjoys the pumpkin beers quite a bit. I'm fine with them. Like I'm not really. I like beer. I'm just kind of open to the beers. Yeah. Like I'm good with kind of whatever. But he really loves the pumpkin beers. He always has. In fact, for our wedding, instead of like a unity candle or the pouring the sand, whatever, the unity ceremony, we did a cocktail. We did pumpkin beer and we did Fireball whiskey. I'm a whiskey Scotch drinker technically, but the Fireball worked better with the pumpkin beer. So put that in there and we called it a Headless Horseman, and we had to down the drink as our unity ceremony.
There you go.
Right. Well, that's interesting.
That's interesting. At the wedding. There you go.
It was really fun, especially because our officiant was supposed to bring the bottle opener and we didn't have one. And we turned to both of our families who all drink and said,
Somebody
does
had
anybody
one.
have a bottle opener? And they thought we were joking. And we were like, no, really, we can't open the bottle. Someone had to, his cousin opened it with a Bic lighter. So
That's he's a college kid. There you go.
yeah.
There you go.
So,
Oop, there you go.
we
Like,
managed
that's
to have our
funny.
unity ceremony after all. So that's good.
That's
I'm
nice. That's a
like,
nice
was
story.
Was nobody a Boy Scout? I always keep a bottle opener around me.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, you always have to have. Well,
Yeah.
I always have a multi-tool on me with a bottle opener, a knife, and this and
I'm
this.
sorry.
I was
I'm
actually
sorry,
gonna
guys,
do
my
a
wedding dress
video
didn't
here
have
soon.
pockets, right?
I know it's kind of a popular thing to do, but I was gonna do an EDC, an everyday carry film for winter, and go out in the middle of nowhere and survive for a night when it gets cold over minus 30, and do a whole EDC thing. Where you're just like, here's the EDC, everyday carry. We're going to try to survive tonight. We'll see you in the morning. See if I die. There you go. Have fun. Bye. Like one of those kind of films.
Leave the camera rolling.
Yeah, keep the camera rolling. Yeah, until the battery dies, that kind of thing. But
yeah,
it's interesting to hear someone that likes pumpkin pie that much, because I can't stand it. I actually don't like pie in general.
It was just
I don't like
his thing.
pastries. I don't like cobbler. I don't like
Dude, you got an issue.
strudel. I don't like anything.
How do you not like a strudel?
I don't like strudel. I don't like fruit flavor stuff.
Ooh.
I don't like burnt
That's
stuff.
like
I don't like
cheese flavored.
pastry. I don't like cheesecake. I hate cheesecake. I don't like anything. Like, I don't like any of that stuff. You know what? I like steak. I like steak.
raw.
I like dead things. I like meat. Like that's what I like.
He barely fries it. He's like, okay, it's done.
No, there is no barely
Can't eat
fried.
it if it's not still
3
mooing.
seconds on. Doesn't matter how thick the steak is.
It's like
30
sizzle,
seconds on
he
each
flips
side.
it,
Off it goes.
sizzle,
There you
I'm
go.
off. Yeah.
In butter.
I like my steak like I like my women, cold and purple.
How many times have you used that line?
This is. If you need an officiant, I'm legally registered under Miller High Life to do your
No,
wedding.
that's good.
There you go.
There it is. Well, I need this guy right here.
Well, if I find a better cameraman than Chew, I'll let you know.
All right.
There you go.
Quick question.
Well, I need a wedding here coming up, and Dave's my man. He is
The
officiated.
JT said 3 Floyds. Hey, the Robert the Bruce. I do like the Robert the Bruce. People in the Midwest love the gumball head. It's just like I've done
I
beer
hate
festivals and
gumball
people
head.
go
I also
crazy
hate
like
Oberon.
gumball
Thank
head.
you very much.
No need to attack bells. We didn't bring bells up. We're talking
No,
about 3
we didn't
Floyds
bring
here.
bells into this. I did. We're
I don't
going
know.
face to face right now.
I don't know what's wrong with you or Joe that you got a thing against Oberon.
I've had the Oberon. I've had the Oberon ale. By the way. It's not great, but it's all right.
Okay, I'm putting
Hey,
you
all
JP,
right, don't run.
JP, I'm putting you over there. I'm
shit,
putting you over there
shit.
with Paul and Joe. Like I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Oberon's a great
That's
beer.
all right.
It
Don't
opens
worry.
up spring.
I'm forming my own group behind me, Rod. We're coming at you. We're coming at you hard, Rod.
I would take an
Oberon
Allagash over an Oberon any day.
Oh, there we go. We got another member right now in the Paul group. Oh,
I love Allagash.
I just had an
Honestly, I
Allagash.
think
Yeah,
they
I
blow
bought it.
Oberon out of the
I just
water.
had an Allagash White for the Beer Front Awards. Yeah, I'm not taking it over and Oberon.
I would.
I'll tell you what,
time.
the Allagash. I wouldn't say the Allagash White. The I can't say this word because I'm stupid. That Crutix, the Allagash Crufix or Crutix, that
This is
barrel
Allagash
aged
White right there.
thing
Yeah.
was
That's what I'm going to be
amazing.
reviewing this weekend. I'm going to review this
That
weekend.
Allagash beer was a
Good
fucking
choice.
that barrel
I don't
aged
doubt it. Allagash makes good
Allagash
beer.
whatever. It was
We got
awesome.
like a 12-pack of Allagash White in the fridge. I'm just saying, for me, I wouldn't take it over the Oberon. That's just me.
I don't
Oh.
know. I thought it had a little more character than the Oberon did.
I don't know if Rod remembers this, but I said
And I love whip
Michigan,
beers. I love Belgian whip beers. It's just for me, I prefer the Oberon.
I sent Rod a
I'm not saying
picture
it's by a
of
big amount.
a huge Oberon thing. I sent Rod a picture of a huge Oberon thing when I was in Michigan. He was like, "I see the hate. I see it. It's okay." Like, as I'm like, "Sorry, buddy." I was like, "Look at these motherfuckers with a goddamn Oberon."
I still want to go to the brewery so I can do the habanero Oberon they have at the brewery.
But it's like
Oh my
Oberon's
God.
like big thing just because you could only. God, I want a fucking vape. You're just taunting me with this vape pen over here.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You live in Chicago. You can get the same kind I have.
Yeah, fuck. No, but
Here's
like
the
is
donation.
Oberon's big thing that you could only get it in the summer. Like if you could get it year round, will people just be like, it's okay. But you could only get it in a limited window where people are just like, oh, it's Oberon. I gotta have it.
Are you bringing
Really?
Oberon
Is
hate?
that what they did? Because that's
Are
hard
you,
to
are
get a
you
beer
bringing
if you're
Oberon
shaking
hate
your
now
hand that
too,
much. You're
Dave?
gonna
Like,
get
all
your
you
beer all
guys
over
are
the
coming
place.
back at me on the Oberon. Oberon is solid.
I love
Man.
Oberon.
Oh, no,
but
I'm sorry.
if you could
I
get
opened the
Oberon
window
in
for Oberon.
November,
I'm sorry about that.
would you be
Yeah,
like
I
that
just had
excited
to.
about it?
So you're saying
If I
that
could get it
Bell's did the
year-round,
same
you
thing
would know.
McDonald's did with the McRib?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
it's the Mick Oberon. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't you talk bad about the McRib.
I know. I'm just saying, Bell's did the same thing
Well,
McDonald's
yeah,
did
it's a
with the
limited thing. I
McRib.
feel
It's
they bring it out
it's
like the
just
first day of spring, and it's kind
little
of
bit
like
of
spring's
time.
here, Oberon's here. They tied it to it. They kind of just stuck with it. I know what you're saying. You know, it's a seasonal thing.
That's
But-
why I always crave a Maibach in November because I can't freaking get
Oh.
one.
But there you
I
go,
know.
right? They tied
Yeah,
it.
that is funny because you said that. There is that thing where like, God, I really need this. And you're like, it is totally not the season for that. But that's one of those ones where, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
that's I mean, the thing about nice having like a nice cellar where God, I need a quad, but it's fucking spring, but I can
Well,
go
it's
get
like people now. People are like, oh yeah, stout season. Like my stout season's all year round, but people are like,
well,
it's
yeah,
winter.
bitch.
It's fall, winter. Now you can start really getting into stouts. Like, where the fuck you been at the last 7-8 months? I've been drinking stouts. Where you been at? You know.
well, Chu and I have joked several times about starting a brewery called Off Season. You only brew beers that don't belong in that season because everybody wants those beers. So you'd have the Maibach coming out in November. You'd have porters and stouts coming out all summer. And you would have these summery light beers coming out during the winter because that's what people
Like
want
sours.
when they can't get them.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about having a brewery called Off Season where we just screw with everybody.
St. Patrick's Day pumpkin spice. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's pumpkin spice beer.
Have a
Like, just
sour-
to mess with people.
Yeah, have an imperial sour during the winter months. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
We
We've
would
been
have
joking about the same thing right now. It's like I'm so sick of sours and hazy IPAs. I can't wait for the winter sours and winter IPAs. Because that's what they do now. It's like it's the Imperial Winter Sour. Oh yeah.
we would have O'Malley's pumpkin ale, and we would have Christmas season Maibach. We would have like just to mess with people and give them what they can't have when they want it.
Yeah.
The
Well, I
funny
didn't-
thing is though, they're doing that to themselves too. And that's the funniest thing is you go in there in the middle of fucking February and all they have is hazy doubles and sours and saisons. And you're like, are you serious right now? Oh no, we have a maple porter. What's the ABV? 4.5. I'm leaving. Bye-bye.
Well, it's like the show last week. We had somebody said they would love to have Oktoberfest beers year round. Like, why is it only going to be this time? And I'm
Right.
like, well,
I like them Marzen. They should always
historically
have
it's
them
tied to
Marzen.
that season, but you probably could deal with other parts now.
Well, they should have a lager on tap year round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing is we've talked about this. I mean, Jesus Christ, this goes back 12, 13 years now. The talk on the bullshit talk like this. What should your brewery have regularly? And then we should say, okay, you should have a lager. You should have a porter. You should have a stout. You should have a saison. You should have and then that people just keep on adding things. What should you have regularly in a 5 brew lineup? What should you have
He said,
year
well,
round?
Not 3 IPAs.
No, not 3 not 3
You got
IPAs
5,
and
we got
sours.
5
What should
lines.
you have
got 5 taps
ongoing
and 3
regularly?
IPAs.
And that was the
3
shock.
IPAs, you're paying the rent.
Exactly, right there. Yeah.
You know,
I
what
know
pays
you pay the rent with the IPAs and then do the rest the way
But
you
there's
want.
breweries that can do it. Like I said, like the brewery here, they don't have an IPA. They still keep good crowds coming through. I feel like people don't know what beers maybe to ask for sometimes, and it's up to the breweries to come up with them. But everybody's so focused in the breweries on the IPAs, they're kind of force feeding people there. Like I've said beers to other people that haven't had different styles. They're like, I never had something like this before. Yeah, because the breweries don't ever put this out in front of you. There could be other opportunities for breweries rather than force feeding IPAs on everybody's throat.
Right. I was at one brewing company. They said, your English IPA, what's the difference between your English IPA and your American IPA? Well, The English IPA is less hoppy than their. I'm like, what are you saying right now? Less hoppy. Like what? What the fuck? What the fuck? Like I
Well,
let her carry on with her spiel, and then she walked out. I said, "You have to understand the English hops are exactly as amount of hoppy as an American IPA, but the English hops should have more hedgerow, copper coin, earthiness, little bit of
So
citrus."
you let more of
than
the, you're not letting it lead with the hops like you are American.
Yeah,
Right.
American,
exactly.
you're
Also,
leading
I'm
the
like,
hops.
it's
Yeah.
less
Wait.
hoppy. I'm like, it's an IPA.
Paul, I have a question. Paul, I have a
Like
question.
just like
I have
the
a question
Samuel
for you,
Smith
Paul.
India Ale.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Paul, just out of curiosity, the brewery that you were at, did they serve food?
No.
No, it was just beer. No,
Yeah.
no mixed drinks, nothing else.
No.
Okay, they need to train their servers then.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was trying to say. Like, okay, like that's why I try to like, hey, by the way, next time you have that question, here's the answer. It was actually a great place, by the way. Let me not spit on the place. I'll blow it up later. But right now, it's a place called Bureaucracy up
Mhm.
Seneca Lake area, which is really cool to find, and it's cask only.
Oh,
Like
Oh, okay.
I started
oh,
dripping
fun.
as soon as I
That's
saw that.
Yeah.
Cask only.
Because
And
there's
then
only
when I
places
asked her,
out
I said,
casks over here.
do you do tight sparklers? And then she's like, I don't know what that means. I said, it's the aeration thing on the end of the thing. Oh, we have those. I said, is it tight? Yeah. And then she poured me. I'm like, that's not a tight sparkler. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just behind the bar serving beer. I hate you.
Paul, it could have been her third week on the job.
No,
It could
she's
have
like
been
half
a
owner.
bad day. She could have had
She's
the flu
half
for the
owner.
last 2 weeks. Like,
Half
come on.
owner.
Ugh.
Half owner. I mean,
Well,
well, you know,
she
that's the
might do
problem
the
that comes out.
paperwork.
There's people that don't know what they're serving or how to
No, I
serve
know.
it.
I get
We've
it.
talked
I get
about
it.
this, that they get out
Yep.
here doing stuff, and it's like, I've had times when I've been in spots and it's like, you really should do it this way. It should really be this way. Or like you said, this was a stout, but this is actually a strong ale. Like I had it at a restaurant before. Like when the guy said it was a stout, like, no, this is a strong ale. So you don't know what you're talking about. Either my manager said it was a stout. Well, your manager doesn't know what he's talking about because this is not a stout. You look at it, it's not even deep dark. It's just like fucking kind of a ruby deep red.
You know,
So
the
it's
weirdest
not
thing
even.
is, like, you say that too, but I get pissed off at the I call them the blow jobs and cunt punching, the BJCP. I get pissed off at that too because I've seen BJCP ratings rating a beer extremely low.
Yeah.
That's actually an amazing beer, but it wasn't by the brewing company. It wasn't put in the right standard.
Rod, I hope
I mean, it
you
wasn't
put an R rating on this before you invited Paul.
Oh, it's we're used to Shannon. We're used to Shannon being here, so it's always got an R rating.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Come
Never
on
mind.
now.
It's
No,
all
there's
good.
R ratings.
I mean, we might be more NC-17.
I mean,
tonight.
Shannon's whipping and chaining people by now, and there's you come flying everywhere. It's okay, but
Hey, guys,
you know, I'm
Shannon's
just saying,
probably
like,
watching.
there's so
Shannon's
many
probably like,
times
I'm not
where,
that
like,
bad, Steve.
BJCP, I've seen people, like, I think they actually sit. I don't know where they keep it. I'm just saying they sit on it. And then next thing you go, oh, here's the BJCP standards. Let's look at this. Well, it doesn't say this. Oh, I'm fucking sorry. Your book doesn't tell me how to live my life, you piece of shit. Like, I just hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it so much.
Todd's off tonight.
You know what's so interesting? What's just so interesting is that the bartenders would be so shocked that you know so much about beer. You know, it'd be like, you know, wow, he or she, wow, they know all this stuff about beer because you be answering, talking, you know, asking questions and whatnot, and you know, at times you kind of respond,
But
and
see,
it's sometimes they're kind of surprised that you know about the beer, you know, than they do, or they kind of both be on in that same, you know, kind of like same wavelength, mind length in terms of talking about different subjects about beer when they go, and some are just completely clueless. They'll say, "Oh yeah, this is a stout," and you say, "No, it's not a stout. This is a Scotch ale wee beer." You know.
Yeah.
So, and I think it depends how you handle the situation. Like I've had situations before. Like one time when I was in Kentucky, one of the restaurants we were at, we were telling her how to do like a black and tan, and she had never done a black and tan. So basically, showed her how you put the whip beer below in the bottom, and she's like, "Well, now what do I do? Like, get the spoon there." Pull the Guinness out, put it over it, and basically taught her how to do a black and tan in them. They weren't trained on how to actually do those kind of things. A lot of these bar owners and these breweries, they put people in spots that don't know how to do it. And she started this. I ordered it. And other people started ordering it. And she was like, now knew how to do stuff like that. And she was very appreciative of being able to show her how to do that, or pointing out how you want to do different things, how you serve beer and stuff like that, why you want to have that head on it to open up the aromas and things like that. So there's an opportunity for you to share that kind of thing there too with the people, because they're not getting that kind of training, which is kind of crazy that these owners are putting people in that position, especially when you come in there. You want to give the best thing that you can for the stuff they're being offered. And breweries are giving you beers that hopefully you're selling them properly. And they're supposed to come in and train you on how to prepare them, but they don't do that either. So I try to help out when I can. If I see like a chance to teach somebody something, I'll teach them something there. There's a way you kind of go about doing it and stuff. So
I still remember back when I was younger going into bars and stuff too, before there was craft beer and bullshit like that. I was a Scotch drinker, a whiskey drinker and stuff like that. And even then, there was little Rolodexes right at the front of the bars. You know what I mean? And like, I want this, and they would go through the Rolodex
to see what the red menu was, right?
And get the recipes and do it according to the recipe. And I think we're still there. We never left that.
Yeah.
And the problem is actually we're worse than that, because those Rolodexes. I don't know if you ever seen a bar with a Rolodex in it, like right there in the front. They're gone. So they're actually worse off than they were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see people go through the book. They would go to a book, and they would flip through the book to try to find what drink you were asking about and stuff. And it's just like,
yeah, exactly.
It's not really that hard to come up with the whole thing.
So Chu just popped his head in the door, and he just wanted me to tell you all that he hates going to a brewery and finding out that the beer tender doesn't drink beer.
That's a bad one too. Yeah, for sure.
I've never had that happen though.
We have.
Yeah.
When you said pop his head through the door, do you mean like pushed his head through the drywall? Like, is there crumbles on his head? Hey, by the way,
sorry, no, there's a door.
There's
and
a
he
door.
just popped his head in for a second.
I thought it was like laughing for a second. Little windows open up and said something.
But no, he just popped in and said, I hate it when the bartender doesn't drink beer because they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm like, well, you can still learn what to say about the beer if someone trains you.
Right.
I just
be aware of the styles and everything.
I mean, you can order at a restaurant and the waiter or waitress may not have tasted either. So I've had people say, well, they haven't had it before and stuff. So I guess for a bartender, I would kind of expect it. Like, I think back to when I bartended, we pretty much sampled everything. We kind of knew what we all had there at the bar to know kind of what the taste would kind of be, right? So it was kind of like, what do you usually like? Oh, okay, well, I have this that can match up to your palate type situation. So it's kind of surprising.
What's your worst experience, Mallory?
With staff like that?
With just anything, yeah.
I mean, for me and Chu both, actually, it's been those instances where we're like, oh, well, we're kind of thinking this kind of beer. What do you have that's like that? And the beer tender, not bartender, beer tender looks at you and says,
easier. Yeah.
And they say, I don't drink beer, so I'm not sure. That's a problem for me. I find it odd. So I just recently started working for a brewery. I'm not going to say which brewery or, draw that into anything. It has nothing to do with the channel. It's a separate situation. But there are several servers. Now, the place serves food as well. And the food is quite good. But there are several servers there who know nothing about beer.
Oh yeah,
I've been having only been there a couple weeks. I've been trying to train them. Okay, no, for this beer you have to say this because people are going to look at you weird because they're going to come in and ask for that and you don't know what to say, and that's a problem. I know you're 23 and you've been a waitress for the last 6 years. You're great at being a waitress, but oh my God, you need to know the beer. And so it's just finding a way to make that work. Now, that's why I asked if the brewery you went to serves food too, because honestly, if someone is more of a food server, they might not know the beer as well. Now, phase 3 over in Lake Zurich here, all of their, everyone they hire has to go through the Cicerone training, at least the
Which
server
is great.
training.
He's a certified beer server, right?
Yeah, the beer server training. But that's the only brewery I've heard of that does that training specific for every single employee. I haven't found others that require that necessarily, though I think it would be a great idea, considering you're creating an art form. So it's like
the breweries I've spoken to, I don't think any of them ever require that, which I agree with you. I think they all should have to at least go.
Yeah,
through
they should. They should actually have to do that.
Kind of know that stuff.
I mean, that would require them getting more money per hour, and I think that's probably why they don't do it.
I mean, you're obviously required to get your basket.
The test to do it is only $69 or whatever, so it's not even.
And you're engaging, and you're having that engagement with the bartender.
Yeah,
talking to that person.
Engagement makes the difference.
If I'm a customer at the brewery and you could even talk more about the beer and get me kind of excited about her stuff, I'm going to spend more money.
Right.
And you as the server, I'm going to tip you higher.
Right.
So there's especially bartenders that they just don't want to talk to you at all. It's so funny. It's like, that's your job, to talk to the customer, to engage, I thought it was funny. My old job, I don't work there anymore. Their motto was engage, serve, and profit. I said, that's funny if I was a prostitute on 69th Street. Yo, John, in the back alley, you do the thing, you get profit.
No, sweetie,
or maybe a cashier
that involves
at McDonald's.
profiting. You wouldn't do well.
Yeah, but at the same time, hey, I've done pretty well being a whore.
Work as well.
But I'm just saying, I know what you're saying, but like,
you're like, playing with.
But they're supposed to be there to talk to you. They're supposed to be there, get the back and forth. But at the same time, you go to a person at that stage, they're supposed to have the knowledge to serve you. If they don't have the knowledge, I mean, anyone could pull a pint. That doesn't mean they know anything about the pint they're pulling. They could even get the wrong one. Who knows? Because I've actually had talks with people on the bar. They don't know anything about what they're doing. They're, oh, you said what? What did you say? Like, oh, what does that mean? Like, what pour is that? I'm like, it's that one right there. Like, when you have to point it out to them, they're not supposed to do that job.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But I was just at I'll say it too. I was just at a bar, and it was called Brews and Beefs, or Beefs and Brews, or something like that. And it was on 14. It was on Route 14. 14 goes straight north and straight south. That's it. The end. Goodbye. Straight north, straight south. And I said, okay, we're going straight north. Is there any places beyond this to get beer, like bottle shops? She's like, define north.
Define north?
What?
Okay. I was like, it's up 14. It's up 14. Okay, we're going straight up 14. Oh, you mean like Walking Glen? Like that? Or like, and the guy next to us goes, that's south. What's wrong with you? I said, yeah, that's south. We're going north. Like, this person is supposed to serve you beer in an intelligent way, and she doesn't know which direction north is, and she lives there. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, but is there a difference between like people like us? We go to a place, we could look at the menu and figure out what we want to have, and we don't need any help.
No, we don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think for people like us, a beer tender knowing what they're serving, just pour it. But for like novices, that's a big difference.
Oh,
she didn't even know which fucking brew to pour when I said which one to pour.
I mean,
north and south doesn't matter to people.
You can't give her north and south directions, apparently. East or west, I'm pretty sure, is out of the question, too.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. It was good. It's pretty funny, actually.
Oh, hello, Dr. Didi, because I just saw you right here. And
yeah, Didi's in here, so I'm going to try to get through some of the comments there. I've
been
posting them. But no, you're right there, because it's funny when we go to a restaurant, and they'll ask, like, can I get you guys a drink to get started or like that? Or my wife just looks at me, and I look down the menu. Okay, give her like blah blah blah. I know her palate, so I know what she wants to drink. Like, no time to mess with the person taking the order, because they're like, whatever you're going to suggest, I'm going to probably know it a little bit better. I'm just not to sound cocky or anything, but I just drink enough beer that I kind of know what she needs. And I look down, I see, and I'll order for both of us and stuff. So we're going to dinner tomorrow night. I'll do it again.
I had that too. I was like, she would like this porter. Well, I'm just gonna ask her. And he's like, and she was like, he orders for me because he knows I like dark beer. But I got snippiness with the waiter actually at the time. He's like, I'd like to ask her, please. And I went, okay. I was like, that's cool.
Oh my God.
Guess who's getting no tip tonight?
He's
This
like,
guy.
he's like, blink if you're in trouble.
Blink twice if you need me to call the cops. It's cool.
I was just gonna give the old, the old Paul Orndorff stiff forearm and fucking walk out, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Like I've got this. It's fine.
I think John's checking with JP, making sure he's good tonight. So.
Oh yeah, and then she's like, he orders for me because he knows what I want, so it's fine. And he's like, oh okay. I'm like, whoa, I'm sorry.
Okay.
She's gonna get a side salad, and she's gonna get beaten to death later. If you want to know, thank you. Like, I mean, what else do you want?
Hey, Paul, just out of curiosity, have you ever worked customer service?
No, because why would I talk to human beings? Fucking pathetic.
So those of us who have worked customer service for a really long time really don't like seeing you walk in. Just so you know.
I'm just saying.
I think with Paul, I mean, I've been in sales for years. I think Paul's
I get
gonna be
it.
easiest one because at least he tells you up front what he wants and stuff. So I'm like, cool.
I want
that
this.
works.
I want this. I want this. Thank you. Move on.
Quite easier.
Nick, oh my gosh, what the heck?
Have you not been in a chat with Mick T? He's got the
Just
jokes.
gotta go. Like what?
I don't know if I've seen
Lip
him
reading.
before,
I get
like-
it. I actually like more like put my ear to it and listen for the ocean. That's how you do it. That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, Mick sent me a hat from over to England. I'm gonna bring it out here soon because it's fall again. I like to always wear it. It's nice.
Yeah, I have the one where the kind of like the what's it called, the like lumberjack hat with little flaps. Actually, it works good again. It's actually really nice.
I was a big fan of Peaky Blinders, so it's like one of the lists.
I did that one where I did that video when it was like -18 outside or whatever, and it actually did keep my ears warm, so it was nice.
I don't think I've ever seen you, Rajay, without that hat on.
The West Virginia
I watched
hat?
It's weird.
I
It's
usually
weird.
wear the
It's a
West,
whole new deal.
I always wear it on here because I represent the old school that gave me the degree.
I
that
have
loads
seen you
on.
without the hat because I've looked back through your old videos from way back.
Have I had stuff without the hat before?
You've
Have I
had
had-
stuff without the hat
Yes, you
before,
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Early days. The early.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever went back and looked at some of your early videos and kind of just saw how you were then versus now?
I'm a little bit more clearer, but still garbage.
I had a lot more hair.
You
No, I remember when you went full Sinead O'Connor. That was pretty interesting.
It was
should've-
for charity. It's all good.
You should have said nothing compares to you during that video. That would have been awesome.
No,
I should have. I should have. That would have been. Nothing compares to beer. I should have been singing to the beer.
Yeah.
No, she went a little full G.I. Jane there, though.
What
She's
about
very-
you, JP? You ever go back to your old videos and look at them now compared to where you're at this point? Like to see where you started at?
Sometimes, yeah, I'll look at them and I'll just say, I could have done this differently, could have done that differently, but I think now as this time, has moved on. I feel like I like the way I've done it. Again, I was just getting to know the whole system. Everything was all fresh to me, and but yeah, well, some tweaks, whatever. But no, I would have kind of kept it the same.
Yeah.
I would have lost about 80 fucking pounds. I know that. That would have been nice.
Now, Dave, your channel's younger one here because you've been doing mostly the podcast. But you go back to look at some of the stuff when you started the YouTube channel?
No, but I've gone back and I don't even have my old audio stuff. I did that shit because it was you'd think, oh, I could do 30 minutes standing on my head, and it was well, I got 8 minutes in. Fuck, what do I talk about now? So I deleted all my old shit because I'm this stuff sucks.
8 minutes in, start trying to relive traumas from your past. Good time.
Yeah,
I remember that.
My mother this and all that. No, I just deleted it.
Though I
That's
want
how
to
you
point
do it,
out,
right?
I want to point out, Dave, as the podcaster, honestly, your voice sounds the smoothest of everyone in this. Like,
He's got
I
a
don't know
smooth
what
voice. He's
recording
got the
equipment you're
radio
using,
voice.
but it's fantastic. So
Thank you.
Well, fuck you
I've
very much,
always
too.
heard that.
I feel like he
I've
should give us
always
like
heard
this
that,
week's
and, like,
Casey
people would come up to
Kasem's
me-
top 40. I feel like Dave could give us a rundown. We think Casey Kasem's in the house.
I know,
Well,
right?
I mean, I dated his
Everyone
daughter. I
always
should
said,
know.
Back in the day, I had the goatee and like just the soul patch. Everyone like would look at me and hear me and like, "Are you Man Cow?" Who was like a big DJ in
Man
Chicago?
Cow Miller. Yeah, Man Cow.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
No,
Here's the top of the hits from
but-
1969. Yeah, nice little free love thing. Like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you could do that for sure.
my voice sounded better when I smoked cigarettes, and then when
Yeah,
I
that little
vaped, and then when
raspiness
I
probably.
quit a couple years
Yeah.
ago, my voice is what it is. But everyone like a couple years ago said like my voice was better when I smoked 2 packs a day
Well,
of Cools.
when you smoke it, I guess it does get a little bit more resiny, a little bit deeper, a little bit more this, a little that. Yeah, I've been told that. That's why I have the voice of a 13-year-old girl, and that's
Yeah.
okay. And I'm just gonna be okay with that. You know what I mean? So there you go.
Well, you
So
like
it
the-
is what it is. I hate the sound. I totally hate the sound of my voice. I hate listening to my.
I wouldn't
Back
have
shit,
gone 13-year-old girl. I would have gone like maybe
You hear my daughter?
16-year-old boy.
Well, you
Well,
do like the ponies, so I mean, you do like the little
Yeah.
ponies.
I do like My Little Pony. He's my favorite is Fluttershy. Don't fuck with her or I'll kill you.
What? Not Rainbow Dash? Really?
Well, everyone likes Rainbow Dash. Jesus Christ.
But with Dave's ones, I was going to say, like, one of the things, I don't know if Dave's ever looking for a side hustle, but, like, you go on to sites like Indeed and these other sites where they're, like, looking for voiceover people, I think you could probably make some few dollars. I'm just saying, you got the voice.
Dude,
There
I
you
lost
go.
my gig last week. I'm fighting to get my gig back. I need a side hustle.
There you go. I'm saying it. They're always looking for voiceovers and stuff.
My
so-
union got my job back, but I'm still waiting to like go back to work. It's been a brutal couple weeks here.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for you to write the book from your job because
I'm drinking Miller High Life right now. Fuck.
Oh, you are low and low. For sure.
I won't
Yeah.
say I won't say the job
Scrape
that
and
you
bottom.
do, but I just know you got tons of stories that you should publish one day in a book because I'm telling you, it'll be a bestseller.
Oh, they
It'll
will
a
be. They'll be published.
Apple Mac is a good spot.
Did I ever
yes.
tell you the story when I met Michael Jackson?
No, you did not.
Michael
did he touch
Jackson, and I did not know it at the time. I was 19 years old, so I was too old for him. But
Oh,
I was 19 years
thank you.
old, and people
I'll
said
put my dick away.
my boss was like, Dave, you're like really into music. There's a big musician that's coming up. We need somebody to like help security screen the guy. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, I just started. I just did what I was told. So I work at the airport. So I go to like the plane and it's a DC-10, which had 34 seats in first class.
Mhm.
Michael Jackson bought all 34 seats in first class because he didn't want anyone around him.
Well, yeah,
And I'm
'cause-
standing there on the jet bridge and I'm like, what are all these Chicago police cars coming up? It was Michael Jackson because they couldn't have him walk through the airport because I mean the
Right.
place would go crazy. So Michael Jackson walks up the stairs of the jet bridge. You have to go through security screening to get on a plane. So I had the wand like you saw in like Spinal Tap, and I had to like wand Michael Jackson's schwanz. So I'm like,
Did he say he when you did it?
So how did the email search go?
but I'm like,
Just
Michael
out of
Jackson's not
curiosity.
to blow up an airplane. So I just turned it off. I'm like, Mr. Jackson, it's really nice to meet you. Oh, thank you. And I just like
Thank you, Ms.
fake
Jackson. I'm
wanded
sorry.
him. And I'm like, he was like, oh, thank you very. He was very nice, very polite. Have a nice day. And he walked on. But that was my brush with greatness. I met Michael
And then
Jackson.
he said, "I am for real," and
Yeah.
things got
Yeah.
weird.
Oh, he went back to work. You're like, I'm bad. I'm bad.
Oh, yeah. It was great because when he said Schwanz, I went, woo! And it just echoed through the whole fucking valley.
Yeah.
Just silence.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
No,
so that
all,
was
all
a
those
brush with
cars stopped
greatness.
running.
You got great
I met
stories
Michael
that I know
Jackson.
you can put. You got great stories you could put in the book. I'm telling you, it's entertainment. Some of the stuff you just,
There you go.
some of the stuff you just make remarks about on Twitter crack me up when I
Yeah.
see that kind of stuff. Like, And you're a much better person with people than I. Because I think I'd have been like Wayne Brady on Dave Chappelle show. If I got to choke a bitch, like I would kind of be like at that point with some. But yeah, let's see here. Oh, I guess for John Pierre, Big Daddy said he always hits Taco Mac. I guess that's in Georgia.
Taco Mac's a very popular spot here. Yes, great, some good food in there.
Jean, do you have cookouts near you?
The nearest one, I would have to go. Probably like on the tail end of Georgia before it gets to Alabama. There's a cookout.
I got you.
I haven't seen very few of them within the Atlanta area.
Man, I heard my first when I went to Frankfort, Kentucky, just because I wanted to take a drive because I'm weird like that.
And that's what we were going to try to get together.
From Pennsylvania to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I went to see was it Jesus Christ? Yeah, it's
no, he wasn't
Daniel Boone's grave. I wanted to see Daniel Boone's grave. So I did that. I went to see that, and I went to a cookout for the first time. And I was like, nothing above this menu is $4. This is fucking fantastic.
You went to a cookout? To Frankfurt?
Yeah, I went to Frankfurt. Yeah.
Tell me you went to a cookout when you went down there.
Their milkshakes are very signature, very good.
Oh shit! I said, you have a bacon cheeseburger? Can I have 20 of them, please? Like it was one of those. Like I'll take them all, thank you. And it was I'm like, I was just drunk and eating. I'm like, this is fucking fantastic. This is the best.
Yeah, Paul's the eating machine for those of you that don't know. So.
Oh my god, this is fucking amazing. Oh my god. I'll tell you what, if you guys I don't know how far you are away. Lexington to Kentucky. Outside of Lexington, Kentucky, there's an industrial park. They made into nothing but distilleries, brewing companies, and barbecue. Holy fuck. Yeah. All I did the whole day was drink and eat, and I just wanted more.
Nothing wrong with
being drunk. It was amazing.
Nothing wrong with being drunk, fat, and happy. So
the only Achilles heel to that place was there was no hotel next to it. If there was a hotel next to it, that place would be off the fucking wall.
Yeah. Little Fruit said, nice seeing JP in the house because he usually sees him on John and Nilly's channel.
Right, Paul. There's the other Paul. Having a good time. And we actually got there because he used to call me the better Paul. I was like, calm down. Okay,
American Paul and the Canadian Paul.
We used to get a little bit heated. Now he's calmed down. He calls me the other Paul, and I go, thank you, the other Paul, good sir.
And if you haven't checked out FLX, check them out as well. Still you are.
FLX, they were just over at the Beer Palooza. Check them out. Subscribe.
Wiggy's hot dogs in Rochester. Red Ale to go with their hot and blonde to go with the white hot. Oh, it needs to be 12.5. 6.5 is too low. Yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Eric knows.
Like Gilbert likes the big beers. He likes the big beers.
Get it to session strength. No water ale.
I get to be at least drunk as fuck. Well, at some point you probably will be if you're drinking the pig part. So yeah.
If you drink while you eat, technically you're drinking everything you're eating anyway.
Pumpkins are for pie, jack-o'-lanterns, and soup.
Yeah. I would say no to both.
Yeah. Keep your head a shake, kids. As long as the spice makes you correct, like them once in a while.
You're far behind, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm way behind on this. I mean, I won't even get all caught up on the comments tonight because you guys have been all fabulous here. So I didn't get a chance.
Don't worry. Just keep fucking do it. Mel, she's gone. Just fucking go.
At some point, I have to go to bed because I have to get up for work in the morning. But Abita was my first brewery in New Orleans back when it first started, '87. And Abita Amber was my favorite. Well, there's another Abita, right? The Abita.
Oh yeah, Amber.
Yeah, because JT was out of Louisiana there, so. Gilbert totally against pumpkin beers and hate with passion everyone who drinks pumpkin beers.
Thank you, Eric. We're of one mind.
I detest most pumpkin beers. Why does Apple get no love and fall anymore? Well, you got the Bush Apple, right? Bush has the whole Apple locked down now, so people were going crazy over the Bush Apple.
That's a good summer thing. You want to talk about a shandy? Talking about something really light and refreshing. Yeah, drink that. But it wasn't for me. I had it, a Bush Light. Thank goodness I bought one can of it. and I didn't buy it because most.
And-
I know people that were buying like 6-packs and 12-packs of the Bush
I
Apple. They
can't-
were
no,
like,
no 12
I don't
packs.
know.
They only sold them here in fucking 24 cases because it was rare, like the hard root beer.
Yeah.
So America with pumpkin. I mean, God, it's like a fascination in America with pumpkin. Just shows up in everything. You know, people go crazy looking forward to it. Not so much in Canada, I'm sure. It's not much of a hard cider fan, but I brewed it once in a Weizen yeast. Not too bad. Yeah, what you would think like you would get more love for ciders than some of the pumpkin stuff as you get in the fall.
I got
You don't get a lot of
a
that.
fall cider brewing right now with English yeast.
I like it, nice one.
The ciders had their time in the sun. It was 1890 or so.
You didn't tell me Chew made a comment on it. Did he tell you like he loves cheesecake and Golden Girls?
I'd fuck
Oh,
Rose.
yeah.
Well, he doesn't love Golden Girls, right?
right?
Paul's not big on the cheesecake.
Wait,
Paul probably likes Golden Girls.
You know the list of 5 celebrities you're supposed to get when you're married to someone that, you know, if you got a chance, you could go for it. 2 of his top 5 were Betty White.
Well, that's just weird.
I
Thank you.
thought you were going to say B. Arthur.
I remember Airhead B. Arthur. Fantastic.
Mom.
It was
like
funny
Mom.
when she passed away. He got 2 spots that he could fill now.
No bullshit.
He
You
still
saw
hasn't
the
filled
fucking
them.
old corpse. You can't get new ones. That's bullshit. Absolutely not. You got to keep them.
No. You have to get new ones.
Oh, come on.
If they passed away,
You have to refill
So
them. You
good.
can't-
It's just a
No,
sex
wait a
toy.
minute.
not a
It wouldn't be as
heartbeat.
fun.
You're talking about Paul. He doesn't care if they're dead. So
No,
yeah,
Yeah.
for me it wouldn't be as fun. So
yeah.
Stink never dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most
I
people
want
don't
them
even know
alive.
I'm there. It's fine. They don't even wake up.
But a lot of times when you see the celebrity in your mind, it's from a certain movie or something, and that could have
Right.
been 20 years ago.
Yeah,
For
but I watch
example-
all horror movies, so most of the time they're dead anyway. See? There you go. Wrapping it up. Let's keep
For-
going on the comments.
For example, Catherine Zeta-Jones from Zorro is different from Catherine Zeta-Jones in Red. Both quite beautiful, but
She was in Red. I
Different
never saw
person.
Red.
or Red
I
2.
have
I'm
Red.
sorry.
Red's a
She
really
was
good
Red 2.
film.
I haven't seen either. of
Red's
those.
really good. You
I
definitely check
recommend
it
it. It
out.
was quite
But,
good.
but Catherine Zeta-Jones still works.
Yeah, Red's a really good film. You should definitely check it out.
But I mean, if you're
Red
talking,
and Red 2 were both excellent.
Easy.
Bruce Willis, John Malkovich, right? Was
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Helen Mirren,
Very well
Ryan
done.
Cox. Yeah.
This
Well, you-
imperial milk stout from New Trail Sticky is pretty good. 9.3, so just in that session string category.
yeah, right there,
Not too bad
Session.
beer. Not too bad.
Nice.
Damn, Big Daddy, you turning on me also? He says he's
Oh,
over on
dude.
you.
Hate. Yeah.
The haters fall
Shit.
for
Big
Oberon
Daddy,
here.
woo!
I'm forming an army, baby.
The Oberon haters ball tonight. I'm surprised Joe doesn't show up and chime in. So my brother Paul, I'm married to a French Canadian family. They love the desserts. I get most of my sugar from beer and wine.
They just love those beaver tails, baby.
A good
So,
Maybach
for-
should be
for
good in
the
November. You keep it cold.
Sugar in wine, you're talking like ice wine, right? Not like a Riesling or
Ice
something.
wine's
Like
good
it has
time.
to be an ice wine, right?
Ice wine's good.
I know you can pour it over ice cream. It's like
Make the
syrup.
Oh
Actually,
man, I'll tell you
right.
what, there's a lot of people in this comment that's on my side. That's not good, man. That's
No,
not
Chu
good. I'll tell you what.
lives for ice
Oh, wait.
wine. He
What is
loves
going
ice
on?
wine.
Paul's getting support.
That's what
on the
happened in
channel,
France
right?
a long time ago. You know what happened to them? They all got their heads chopped off. Bad shit.
Later, DD. He's got a golf tee in the morning. Golf tee at 8. Appreciate you, homie.
Always.
Toss one back is automatically lit. Oh yeah, it's always R-rated. It's just like, you know, we're just kind of in Shannon mode. Even though Shannon's not here tonight, we kind of got that out there. I mean, I actually do have a thing here, but I didn't put it up tonight. Although I should have. Because I knew Paul was going to be here. Where's that here? There we go. Bam. Warning.
There we go.
Mature audiences only.
Hold on up, folks.
And then we got cheers. See, Vanessa's in the house. Cheers, Vanessa.
Vanessa!
Always great to have you.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you,
Oh,
Vanessa.
kitty.
She loves the Dragon's Milk. And JT says, Sister on Certification Program, headquartered in my neighborhood, literally a block away from Beguile and Dovetail. Yeah, I just don't understand why a lot of companies don't invest in their employees to at least have that certification. It seems like it would be the thing you would want to do.
Like I said, phase 3 is the only one I've heard of that requires it of their employees, and they pay for their employees to be certified. They pay for
and
it.
You should.
You should.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
I work in the insurance investment industry, and it's kind of like they pay for us to do stuff for certifications. I feel like in the beer world, they should do that too to have the better employees.
Agreed.
New Orleans, there are no cardinal direction. Everything is oriented uptown, downtown, river, lake. Yeah, I've been in New Orleans, and I can definitely see that there. New Orleans is such a great city, too.
It is.
Can opener on my keychain says 1982.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you always got to have a key. You always got to have a can opener on your keychain.
You do. It's important.
The soda reviews you did with the daughter were adorable. Oh, Paul, what do you got?
Aww.
Oh, you're right there. Oh, JT said the soda reviews you did.
I know. I was told I wasn't allowed by the ex-wife.
Why weren't
the
you
ex-wife said I was not allowed to do soda reviews with my daughter online.
Could you do them on
I really liked them too, and she really
reviews
liked them too.
Yeah.
So if we do it, it's going to be one of those ones where she has to wear a horror movie mask or something. I don't know. If you can't. I really enjoyed doing soda reviews with my daughter, and we bought a bunch of soda reviews to do, and then the ex-wife said I'm not allowed to show my daughter's face on the internet because there's perverts and blah 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 blah. And
that's what I was going to ask you. If she was worried because the kids were being shown, if that might have been it.
Well,
Some
yeah.
people
She likes to do anything to make sure I have a bad life. So there you go.
How old is your daughter, Paul?
14 now.
I gotcha.
Now I did those when she was like 9, which is funny because how long ago was it or something like that? It's just stupid. How long ago? Because we both had. We actually went to Sweets a couple different times and bought sodas. We just drank them because we weren't allowed to review them. But I'll tell you what, they were really funny, and my daughter was really good at reviewing too. Overall, it was pretty funny.
Aww.
She got the talent of her daddy.
That's right. She's gonna be a lush.
JT asked Dave, that was off the wall thriller area.
That was on the Bad tour.
Oh, the Bad. It's just bad.
Sheryl Crow. Sheryl Crow's one of the backup singers, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad tour.
87. Yeah.
That old Bad video was like, okay, so Michael Jackson's gonna punk Wesley Snipes. That was kind of interesting, because Wesley Snipes was the guy. He was like, that's Nino Brown. Michael Jackson's gonna punk Nino Brown. Okay, let's see.
No, he was in that movie. No, the football player in Wildcats. So,
Wildcats,
Goldie Hawn.
Oh, that's an old school film for sure.
Wow, Goldie Hawn.
Forrest Whitaker was in that
man.
one. No, was it not Forrest Whitaker? He was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I'm thinking of Forrest Whitaker. So
yeah, but it was creative, and the fact that it was like a movie.
I actually just got a smoker. I got my smoker fired up. I've been smoking pork tenderloins here.
Vanessa, one of these days I'm going to come visit you because every time you talk about food, I'm just like, oh no, I need to live where you are.
Yep. We're going to be doing salmon, and then we're going to be doing deer here soon on the smoker.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the brisket will be tasty. Oh, yeah, it is getting time to, eggnog.
Oh, come on, people.
She usually does eggnog with duck eggs, which I'm sure is pretty tasty. I don't know about eggnog beer, though. That's kind of...
I actually had a problem at my house where all the ducks got killed except for one.
You had ducks?
Yeah, we had ducks too, but only dark-billed duck survived. So he's the only duck that walks around.
Dark-billed
duck is the only duck, and he had this screw up on his bill, and it was black. It fell off, so it's not like a cleft bill. And he walks around going, so that's all. He's nice and quiet, and we love him. So we're gonna hope dark-billed duck lives a long time.
Did you see last year that Bud Light Seltzer had an eggnog seltzer?
It was awful.
I wouldn't want an eggnog seltzer.
I'm kind of glad I didn't see that.
So that was a 4-pack. There was an apple one, eggnog one,
Cranberry,
there was a gingerbread one, and there was something else, and they were atrocious.
Again,
it was painful.
Another thing
I've actually had elk eggnog, and it's not horrible.
I'm going to put in the
I
category
like
of
eggnog.
another thing I may drink Zima before I drink that. That would go in that category.
Zima's cool and refreshing, Rod. Come on now. I remember when we
Cool
stole
and
compared to that
I remember
eggnog,
we were kids. We stole a 12-pack of my dad's Zima, and we took it down to the river, and we all drank it. It was funny.
No Jolly
And we
Rancher.
all filled the bottles because we were afraid that we were going to get caught. So we filled the bottles with rocks and threw them in the creek.
Paul, why was your dad drinking Zima?
Because it was for his, I guess it was
Good
for his
question.
buddies that were trying to be non-alcoholic but not, or whatever. It's like the wean-off buddies, like, you know, because he had root beers and Zimas and stuff like that. So it was for the non-drinking buddies anymore. You know what I mean?
So I went camping with my mother once, and we snuck a bottle of Zima away, not to drink. We had their cigar holders. It was like these like plastic tubes with a little stopper. So we put Zima in and shook them with the topper on, and we're shooting the toppers at each other.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what we did with Zima. We weren't drinking it.
Yeah. That's how you know I like my dad, because I actually had a realistic explanation. Otherwise, I would be like, because he sucks dicks for a living or something like that. Because I wouldn't say that about my dad. So there you go. Because I love the goddamn guy. But yeah, there's a realistic explanation. Otherwise, I would just have some outlandish excuse.
Bring your
When they
attention
brought that out, and I
up here in
remember
the right
commercial for
corner.
Zima.
Warning for mature audiences.
I wasn't too. I didn't understood what was all the hype back in the day. I remember saying, "Ooh, you saw all the commercials, and the guy, the all group of friends in an apartment, they're drinking Zima, grilling food, doing this and that, on this." And then I tried it for the first time, maybe back 2017 when they made their relaunch. Yeah, and I'm like, "Was this what they were talking about? This thing was ugh."
Yeah, when they brought it back,
we did Zima. We did Zima back in 2002 or 3. It was a long time ago.
It was
when we weren't even allowed to drink.
That was
I mean, I was allowed to drink by then. What the fuck was it? But it was like mid '90s, like Raw's War and Nitro were doing the fucking back and forth, the Raw and Nitro kind of wrestling shit, and it tasted like Sprite with a kick, if you know what I mean. Like it was something like easy drinking. Like I'm like, wow, this is like, is this alcohol? Is this what people are talking about? You can't drink. This is easy.
When I first had it, I
remember we really enjoyed Raw's War that night. Because apparently we were shit-faced, but it was funny. It was a good time.
I was like, when I first had it, I was like Les Gross in the Tropic Thunder. Like, who made this? All right, who's the guy next to him? I want you to make a fist, and I want you to punch him as hard as you can in the face. Like,
yeah, got it. Channel the hate, Rod. I like it.
Why would you make this drink? Why?
For me, the Zima sits in with the Smirnoff Ice and with the Mike's Hard Lemonade. Like they're all kind of that. They all came out around this. Well, okay, the others came out after.
Zima came out in like. Well, I'll tell you what. Zima came out when Crystal Pepsi came out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. It was an innocent time where no one knew any better, right? Okay. Yeah. Don't put Mike's Hard Lemonade in with Zima. Okay, honestly, I'm going to defend Zima once in a while. This is the only time I would defend Zima. Don't put him with Mike's Hard Lemonade, okay?
It still kind of fits in that category.
Later, maybe in the broad scheme, but not at the time.
I would think Mike's Hard
Lemonade.
Mike's Hard Lemonade
liquor, and you could argue Mickey's into that if you want to. You could. But I like Mickey's a lot, so I don't want to argue the Mickey's.
I see how it is. What about Smirnoff Ice?
Class.
Well, Smirnoff Ice.
Smirnoff Ice was the next level of Zima.
I'll tell you what. You know what the funny thing is? Until 2008 or 9, maybe 2008, I only drank Smirnoff Raz.
Why?
Because I couldn't stand the taste of beer, and I never knew anything good. I only drank hard liquor.
Why do you drink Mad Dog like the rest of us?
Well, I did.
I was about to say,
I drank Mad Dog. I drank wine. I drank wine. I drank Mad Dog. I drank Scotch and whiskey and stuff. But if there was any kind of a beer thing, I drank Bacardi Raz because I didn't know anything else.
Did you go through
And that's when I because then I stopped drinking for about 4 years straight when I had my kid. And
Did you
that's
go
when
through
I
the
got
Mad
into German
Dog,
beer,
like,
then
did you go
English
to-
beer, then this beer, then that beer, and then kind of like, whoa, it kind of
Aw.
complicated.
So
Yeah.
did you go
You
through?
stopped-
Did you go
you
through
stopped
Mad
drinking when you
Dog
had
to the
your kid?
Boone's Farm?
Yeah.
To the you went
Wild
through all that
Irish
kind of
Rose.
thing?
So sweet.
Wild Irish Rose, all that kind of stuff.
Well, they needed a good dad that wasn't an alcoholic, so I stopped drinking everything.
I mean, there
for
were
about 4
steps.
years.
There were steps to getting
That's
into
so
alcohol
sweet.
back then.
Yeah. Oh no, where I made up with my second kid, I was a fucking alcoholic. No, I'm just joking. But no, I didn't really drink anything. And then when I had my second kid, obviously I was just drinking beer. No big deal. I don't drink liquor anymore. And then, yeah, pretty much I just kind of gave off all the hard stuff. And I just kind of home brewed and drink craft beer now. And
Yeah.
I can't get drunk on craft beer so much because I can't afford so much. So there you go.
Right.
It's so expensive. You know what I mean?
It makes a big difference. It does.
It does. But when you get those good
Big
sales,
fucking
oh,
deal.
you're going to hit them up. And then you get shitty.
Yeah.
You know.
Fair.
When you come back
No.
from was Auburn Hills with a whole car full of where it's like sparking on the road because you have a whole car full of fucking dragon's milk. You know you're gonna have a good time.
Oh yeah, that's good time in
Mickey's-
the trunk right there.
Mhm.
What's your thought on Mickey's? I've always enjoyed Mickey's. I'd never put Mickey's in the category as a malt beverage.
That's a laugh out loud.
See, when you
like
say Mickey's,
Mickey's.
what do you mean? Mickey's grenades or Mickey's what?
Yeah,
Mickey's
the little
Big Mouth.
bottles with the.
Oh
with
yeah,
the
people used to
muzzle
drink
and the
those at my
cap.
house all the time.
Yeah,
I never
love
drank
them.
I never had one.
You haven't?
Yeah,
You
You had a
must.
No.
Mickey's?
No.
Really?
You
Yeah,
must.
I had-
You must
I had a
try it
Mickey's on
once.
the show a couple
No.
months ago. It was bad.
I've never
Oh.
had Colt 45.
Well, I
I've
mean,
never
anytime
had
you look back on
Hurricane.
malt liquor,
I've
at
never
our
had
age,
a
it's always
King
bad.
Cobra. I've never had a Big
I
Bear. I've
wouldn't
never
put
had a
Mickey's in
Mickey's.
the category as a malt liquor. I think it's just to me. I look at it same as a Budweiser Miller High Life, in my opinion.
No, that's
Because
a malt liquor.
It's not that
The
strong.
grenades. Yeah, Mickey. They always when I bought it for everybody at my house, they always considered it a malt liquor, but in grenade fashion.
Yeah. But there's not all malt liquors are the same. So I mean, like
No,
when I grew up
absolutely
in
not.
high school, we were drinking like
Well,
Schlitz
like my buddy likes,
we were drinking
Schlitz
Schlitz Blue Bulls.
what is that
Red
shit
Bulls. We were drinking
Little
Cookie 900 from Colt 45. We were
Oh,
drinking some rough stuff that was like, yeah, they don't even make it anymore now.
Actually, the funny thing is, what was it called? Shit. He used to have it in
What
his
was called
fucking
off
trunk.
shit? That's terrible.
Keystone was a Keystone Light, but there was man, there was
Ice.
another shitty thing he used to keep in his fucking trunk.
Keystone Ice.
It might have been Natty Daddies. It might have been something like that.
Daddy Daddies or something.
Yeah.
made by Van
He used to
Bush,
keep
yeah.
it in his trunk and hot. He would just pull one out, chug it hot
Oh,
all
you
the
don't want
time.
my daddy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're
I'll tell you
asking
what,
for trouble.
though.
man. You're asking for trouble.
The funny thing is, the same place that people used to get all that shit from my place, because I live in PA.
The place you get the deals at, right?
You could get Colt 45, 40s of Colt 45 for $1, right? Which is great. Don't get me wrong, that's a good price. I wouldn't drink it, but that's a good price. But quarts of Yingling was $2.
Yeah.
So if you knew what you were drinking, you'd buy a quart of Yingling for $2 instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was the asshole, and I bought a quart of Woodchuck for $3.
Woodchuck cider.
And I drink Woodchuck. That was my thing.
Woodchuck was like one of the OG ciders that was like
Oh, yeah.
all over the place.
Oh yeah, I drank so much fucking Woodchuck. I threw up so much Woodchuck. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Guinness for an extra stouts. But
I think I threw up more Woodchuck than people actually drank Woodchuck. That's how much
Well,
Woodchuck I
you
drank.
were probably too
Dave-
young for the Bartles and James run
Dave-
when they had their run.
Dave,
Oh,
do
yeah.
you do a lot of ciders? Dave,
Oh,
do you do ciders?
yes. I do. I love ciders.
Have you been to Virtue?
Yeah, I have not been there, but I've had them. They're now AB owned like everything else.
Yeah.
But no, they're really good. I mean, I loved Northman when it was like right here in Lincoln Square. I loved the Northman down in the Riverwalk. But no, I'm a big fan of ciders.
Yeah,
Nice.
cider's good.
Yeah, I remember like Woodchuck like late 90s. They were big and they had like
That's what I'm
Graham
talking about.
Smith.
Good
Yeah,
time.
they were like one of the OGs with like
I'm in my 40s, so I remember good old Woodchuck.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I remember
college.
the fall. They had a fall that was good, and then we called one 402 or something like that.
Oh,
That was really
Eris.
good. They were like craft cider. They were fucking delicious.
Yeah.
I don't even know how
Now,
to
like
describe
I've
it.
had them now. Now they're like really sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad.
I still
but-
remember.
It didn't
I
used
still
to be
remember.
that
Remember
sweet.
when Moosehead used to come out with like craft shit back in the day? Do you ever have Moosehead stuff?
yeah,
Moosehead used, like in the 90s, Moosehead used to come up with the Moosehead special this and Moosehead this and Moosehead that. And it was different. And it was like the same pillock shit crap that you'd have now from Mooseheads. It was
Yeah.
weird. Mooseheads in the 90s was like a different brewing company, completely different than it is now. Even the normal shit they used to produce in Mooseheads still tasted better than the stuff they make now.
Yeah, like the old Moosehead, like remember like old St. Pauli girl.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Paul Girl used to be great too.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what though, remember Hofbrau House?
Yeah,
They don't make it in Germany anymore. They make it in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that makes me pissed off because they still charge import prices here.
Of course they do.
Yeah, they
For
do.
what?
I knew that Moosehead changed as soon as they started offering T-shirts and hats in their beers. I went, "What's this all about?" And then you go, "Oh, they changed. Your
Hey,
shit." now."
Dave, Chu just asked if you've been over to Eris Cidery.
I love Eris. Eris is
Yeah?
a great spot. Yeah, I mean their beers are good. They've won GABFs for their beers.
I know they're
I love Eris.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I was just curious if you'd check them out because they were
Cool.
so wonderful when we were there.
yeah. It's a cool spot. Like I went there the first week they opened.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, the first week they opened, it was like Super Bowl, and no one was in there because they just opened, so it was really cool. But the ciders are really good. Their beers are good. I don't know. I think they've had different brewers, but like
Yeah.
now they're more focused on the ciders than the beers. But when they first opened up, their beers were great.
Yeah.
Like I think they won a GABF or I think it was like a bronze or silver, like the first year of the hazy IPA.
Hazy IPA. They are everywhere now with those.
I'm trying to just listen to you guys and just bathe in the crickets. No more cars, no more bullshit, no more hazy IPAs. Just you guys. So good. So good.
Well, you guys are freaking awesome to have on. I need to do this more often. I need to like do a thing because usually Thursday, me and Todd do the toss one back, but I need to kind of incorporate a weekly panel type show. And if you guys want to join, other people want to join, it's great to have your perspective and the great stuff you guys are doing out there in the beer world as well. So this has been a blast. So I guess we'll
It's been
get
fun.
ready to-
Thank y'all.
Yeah, thank you. We'll get ready to wrap up. Here's a 11:45, at least for us on the East Coast, 11:45 for you guys Central.
I gotta go to work.
But before we go in, I'll let you guys all kind of give a summary on what you guys are doing so people can check out your channel. So Mal, ladies first.
Oh, thank you. So we've got Halloween coming up. Halloween is my absolute favorite holiday. I'm a little bit obsessed in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
So we've got a lot of Halloween stuff coming up. Super fun. And then we're going to do songs you didn't know were drinking songs for Christmas. So we've got we've got some fun things coming. So it's gonna be amusing, as well as my crafting. Of course, I'm always making things. I can't help myself. That's why my table behind me is covered in stuff from me always making stuff. But as soon as my back gets better, I will get back to that. But yeah, that's what's coming up for us.
And then your channel, Perfectly Meat Crafts on YouTube. You got Instagram. Anything else you want to?
Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Jean-Pierre.
Not much I'm going to say. It's a pleasure meeting all of you. Mal, Dave, Paul, great time. Really enjoyed the discussion. I sent the link over there on the private chat. You could subscribe to my channel. I have
Tell the people watching. Tell the people watching your channel.
Say it again.
Tell the people watching your channel.
Yes.
You sent it to the
Please
private link. No. Tell them the name of your.
I'll post it on the chat. Yes. I'll post it on the chat. On the before we go off the air here. I have a couple of the beers I showed you tonight. I will be reviewing those in the next couple of days or so. I usually do a lot of stuff with Ron Ontario, sometimes on his channel, some of his different events. So we're the same with John and Neely. Stout Sunday, I do stuff with him. That comes on at 10:30 Sunday mornings, Eastern time, of course, wherever Central, 9:30 Central and all that good stuff. So I do stuff with that, and it's fun. And I don't post a lot of videos on Facebook, but maybe I should start doing that again on the Alcohol Legs page. But just catch me on YouTube, and I will go into the live discussion, and I'll post it right now. My channel. So,
Okay.
So let everybody else can see,
Yeah.
what I do. So
So make sure to check out Jean-Pierre. Dave.
Rod, first I want to thank you for hosting everyone here. It was a pleasure coming on and joining you and meeting everybody here on video. I don't do a lot. I'm starting to do more with like video and YouTube and TikTok, but mostly everything is the audio podcast. Mallory, like, you need to meet my wife because she does a lot of like craft stuff. Ruby Star Cards, she does handmade cards. So I mean, we'll have to hook the two of you up to talk crafts. But Rod, I want to thank you for having us all on because we wouldn't be here without you, man.
Well, thanks, man. Beerfront podcast. Also, let's talk about the Beerfront Awards. Go ahead and give a little thing about that too.
I started it, and Mallory's on, you're on, Rod J. If anyone else wants to join, by like December 1st, I want to do like the best of the old school macro beers, craft beers that are over 21 years old. You're more than welcome. Just, if you want to get on, let me know. I'll add you to the Google Docs page. We'll just score the best of the old school craft beers, the old school macro beers, and we'll go with that. And I think like next year I want to do imports, best of the light beers, things like that. My show is mostly about like old school craft beers and like macros that you don't think about anymore. And they're still a good beer. They're just, people don't think about it because they're chasing their badges on Untapped. They're chasing everything else. They want to get the new Hot Butcher and everything else. But, sometimes, hey, the beer that's right in front of you is the best one out there.
True. Very true. And then we have the magical one, Mr.
Oh, that's me because I'm
Mr. Pony Man. What you got there?
I think inside me. Oh no, we're talking about PA Brew News, baby. PA Brew News, the big daddy, the back daddy, baby. Two PA Brew News, baby. Okay, we're here on YouTube. We have oil paintings by P. Rameli on Facebook and Instagram. I'm gonna do a little bit more paintings, believe me. Don't worry about it. It's
let me just pause you right there. Let me pause
channel.
Let me pause you right now for
a
second, because for those of you that have not seen Paul actually paint, this MFer is fantastic. You need to check out his paintings and the stuff that he actually does. So, great talent, great artwork. He does some stuff there on the Facebook. He had done some stuff on YouTube before, but want to give him props for the work he actually does. So if you're a fan of paintings and want to see somebody get down, think of your Bob Ross with a beer in his hand. This is the guy for that.
Well,
Okay,
I'd like to teach you guys how to paint too. It's really easy. I know it's. I'll tell you what. It is intimidating. All right. I'm going to try to take the intimidating out of that. I'm just a regular guy like you guys. It's no big deal. I can't draw a stick. I mean, I can draw a penis on a stick figure, sure, but I can't do much other than that. But I can tell you how to paint a beautiful painting from your own mind. We all see nature in different eyes, and I can tell you how to paint something, whether it's a bog or a mountainside or a creek or this or that. Doesn't matter what season it is, no better. Come on with me, have a painting, have a good time. Because when we're painting, you know we're having a good day, right? Because I can't paint if I'm not having a good day. That's you. But if you see me on here, you know I'm having a good day. We're going to enjoy painting with me. I'll show you how to do it. I'd like to do it live. I don't know if my internet here, it's so bad because you can see my thing here. Maybe it'll be okay to do a painting. We'll try it live, and if not, we'll just do some pre-recorded stuff. But I'm going to do a painting. I've been really kind of itching to do some paintings, and I know people like that. So, but if you're not into that, or you haven't seen one, stop in for a beer review or maybe a horror movie review on Maniacs Meet Podcast. It's going to be on the same channel. We're going to have a good time, but don't worry, we're going to say offensive shit because that's funny, and people like funny stuff, and that's what we do here. But check it out, and like I said, just have a good time. That's all. That's all it's about. Having a good time.
Paul, your paintings are lovely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely lovely.
So I'm happy to have all the people here that are here. I appreciate all you guys spending some time tonight as we do this. And, JT brought up a thing, and I think I am going to do more of these. It's kind of coordinating things in. Like I say, usually Thursday nights, me and Todd are doing stuff, or maybe me, Todd, and Shannon. So maybe another night I kind of work in because I do want to do more live streams here on the channel as I kind of do more stuff with the YouTube. So stay tuned for that. But these are all great people you should be checking out on their stuff. And hopefully they'll come back again and, they won't be scared off by Paul. So bye. I know. I already know Paul will come back. So, but for me, as obviously, where to find me here on the channel. If you haven't been to the blog site, make sure you check out the blog site, BeerVentures.com, because that has all the links to everything else. So
and everybody hit that like button.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody hit that like button because this is great.
And honestly, it's rare that I have a time off, and I'm really glad to be here on the channel. And actually, I really did behave. It might not seem like it, but I did.
Trust me, I've known Paul for years. He did behave tonight. So.
But Rod J is doing important work. He's bringing together BrewTubers, and he's bringing together folks who have similar interests, and just giving places of people to be on Thursdays. Because honestly, what's your Thursday anyway? Really? No. He gives you a place to be, and hit that like button, subscribe, the whole works. He deserves all of it.
Thank you, man. We like to get Thursday revved up for people to head into the weekend.
Like I said, I just sent the link. To my channel on the chat.
Good.
Okay.
So people
Good.
Post that shit.
I wish I had a community page. I would do that.
What is it, 500 now for the community page or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's 500. I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, that's all right. What I'll look to do is
Facebook,
tomorrow
Instagram, all the
is
other
to
places.
share all your guys' stuff, my community page and stuff. Well, Paul, great one-on-one I've done with him before. I've done stuff with Dave one-on-one too. Have we done a one-on-one, Mal? We haven't done a one-on-one on your channel yet, have we? Like me, you
not
like
on my channel. We did a interview on yours.
We did a group thing though before.
Yeah.
So you and John Pierre need to get set up to do like a spotlight.
We actually did a one-on-one the same time in the October. I did it outside my in the field.
You were fading into the darkness by the time we were done.
But it was like negative fucking. It was 30 degrees outside, and I was in a cut-off T-shirt like always, I think, and we just did it with candles around us because that's what you do when you're PA Brew News in the woods and you're spooky. So there you go.
Yeah, I would have played Metallica, but I didn't want to get sued. So
Yeah. Good time.
So
It was
JT
great.
said with Dave's channel. So Dave's channel, Beer in Front on YouTube,
Beer front.
beerinfront.com for the website, and Beer in Front for the podcast as well, right, Dave? Did I miss anything there? And you're on Twitter too. So Beer in Front everywhere.
I just sent you a link, Rajay, on your messenger, so you could, share my page, my YouTube thing with everybody.
But but it's great having everybody on here. And like I said, I'm going to look to kind of do this on probably a weekly type basis. I don't know if it'll be during the week or towards the weekend, but anytime anybody wants to come by and share some stuff, I'm going to kind of open up a forum as far as the next development here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. I'm glad you guys that were here watching enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys that participated enjoyed it. There were some other people that we sent out stuff to that couldn't make it tonight. So we'll definitely have more people that try to rotate through and everything. And JT said, yep, he's already subbed there on Dave's as well. So good to know. And you guys should definitely catch up because you're both in Chicago. So
Yeah. I need to get back to Chicago ASAP. So
that being said,
there you
go.
Send me a message when you're coming. That'll be fun.
The band's getting back together. Well, actually, you guys have met, so it would be getting back together. It's
okay. It's like a super group forming.
I would love it. Chu and I are very good at getting people drunk. We can do that.
Not so good.
You know what? Bill Cosby was good at that too. Bill Cosby was good at that.
We got skills. We got this. We can get people drunk.
Bill Cosby I
don't know if you can handle me drunk, but let's do it. Oh, woo, 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 woo.
With that being said, we will go ahead and get signed off. But before we sign off, because Paul's here, I know Paul's a big Dusty Rhodes fan, and
Dusty Rhodes.
Although Todd's not here, we'll sign off with a little
the American Dream, baby.
Word from the American Dream here.
Stables.
Yeah, I'm looking for a horseman.
A horseman?
A horseman goes by the name of Rick.
Not here.
Are you a horseman?
I could be. What can I do for you?
Friday night, you can see me at War Games. Bring all your horsemen, because I will have Moondog Spot, Moondog Rex, and the Monkey Brother. Yeah, I'm looking for a horseman goes by the name of Rick Flair.
Don't know him.
Can I leave a message?
I guess.
All right, write this down. Tell him it's Big Dust.
Okay.
The American Dream.
Okay.
Tell him to meet me Friday night, Starcade.
Meet you at the Stockade.
Yeah, Starcade, Friday night.
I don't know what you're wasting your time for.
Is this Baby Doll? Baby Doll, I know that was you Jezebel! Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen.
Yes, sir. This Big Dust calling on behalf of Crocker Promotions.
Can't hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lisp. What about Chris Benoit? Oh, he did. Sorry.
No, I don't really know what you're talking about.
Is this J.J. Dillon's?
No.
Don't lie to me, J.J.'s. You and I go way back, Jack.
Well, it ain't J.J. You got the wrong person.
Don't mess with the American Dream, J.J. My eyes are open as